Good evening, everybody. Here live in the studio and at home. Welcome to Penguin Live. Thank you for supporting Live Magics. My name's Ajar, and we're here at the lovely Paper Crane Studios. Tonight's a very special night. We're going to introduce you. Well, you probably already know the man, but we're going to be doing something very different. This is not magic. This is something very, very different than magic. It's hypnosis. And the great thing about hypnosis is that it's real. And I say that in the sense that whether you truly believe in hypnosis the way it's portrayed in movies or not, when you've done the hypnosis, it is absolutely really happening. And there's no trick to it. You can't be exposed. You can't be anything because everybody involved feels the reality of it. So it's a great, amazing, different genre than what we're used to. So that's why we're really excited about this. And not to mention that Mr. Jay Noblezada, who will be joining us in a minute, is one of the first guys we ever worked with at Penguin. So we've done so many exciting projects with him, and he's just been such a strong magician and such a renowned teacher. Like, of all the guys we've ever worked with, he's probably the single most highly praised teacher of magic. So that's why if you've never learned any hypnosis or know nothing about hypnosis, this is the absolute perfect person to learn it from. It's a perfect night to learn it. So thank you again. I'm going to finish now with my rambling. With no further ado, Mr. Jay Noblezada.
Woo! Come on. Thank you, my friend. Splendid introduction. Thank you, Ajar. Well, I'm Jay Noblezada. Welcome to Penguin Live. First of all, before I get started, I got to say a big thank you to everyone who was a big part of why I'm doing what I'm doing today. So first of all, Penguin Magic Company and Ajar. Yeah. And also some big influences in my life, Oz Perlman. And I got to say a big shout out to Anthony Jacquin and the Head Hackers, if you're watching, from the UK, all of my crew from the HTG Live studios, Matt Hale, Joe Brogy, and all of you guys out there, thank you so much. And also, any of you that have either learned magic from me starting out, or maybe you just love magic too, I want to say thank you. Thanks for being here. Now, that being said, we're going to be talking about hypnosis. How many of you have been hypnotized before? Yeah, excellent, excellent. How many of you have thought about becoming hypnotized or have gone to a show, maybe seen the show? Excellent, excellent, okay. No, you don't have to clap for that. Well, a lot of people ask, what is hypnosis? You know, how different is it than magic? And I have a normal spiel when I perform, but a lot of you are into magic already, so you have a foundation for magic, yes? There are a few tricks that you know. So through this lecture, what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to show you 5 routines that I do. They're hypnosis routines, but as magicians, I think you'll really appreciate them, because these are the types of things that you can go out and do tonight. They don't take a lot of practice, but they will take a little work as far as stretching your mind out a little bit, sort of opening yourself up to maybe a few concepts you might not be comfortable with, or maybe you've heard of before and haven't yet ventured off into. For instance, how many of you are big into persuasion and influence? I'm sure it sounds interesting to you. So let's try a little experiment so we can get right into the routines. I need a volunteer, so who wants to be in front of thousands of people right now? Come on, don't be shy. There you go.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Duncan.
Duncan. Duncan, say hi to everybody.
Hello, everyone.
Feels weird, right?
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit. This might feel a little bit weirder. So do me a favor, take your hands like this. Stretch them out. Take a deep breath with me. That's easy, right? Now go ahead and clasp those together nice and tight. Okay. And now what I want you to do is continue to do that, Duncan. Focus on the spot on the back of the thumb right there. Pick that spot, look at it, focus on it, and as you continue to squeeze the hands together, imagine in your mind what it would be like if those hands were completely glued together, like they were solid. Almost as if your body was created out of one solid piece of marble and you could not move. Can you imagine that for me? Excellent. Now imagine right now that it's solid from here all the way up to your elbows. You cannot move. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to take those apart, and you're going to find that the more you try to separate those, the more tighter they become. So very slowly try to release those hands. Look what happens. It's almost like an impossible situation, because I'm not controlling your mind, but at any moment you can release those, but it almost seems like it's impossible. And the more you try to release those, the tighter they get. What does that feel like, Duncan?
A little weird.
A little weird? Now, check this out. Sometimes it can get solid from here to here, so you can't even move your body. Think about what that would feel like. Isn't that weird? And it even goes up to here, to your head. Go ahead and hold your head up straight, focus right here. Now you can't move your neck, your head, everything's completely solid. Even try to turn this way. Try to turn this way. Look what happens when you try. We didn't set this up ahead of time. Look, you can't even speak because it's almost like your vocal cords are solid. Try to speak right now. Listen to what that sounds like if you try. Now, we didn't set this up, yeah? This is what I want you to do. I want you to focus right here. Take a deep breath. Let your entire body relax as you close your eyes. Relax all the way down. No camera, no one around, no lights, no nothing. Just you, your subconscious mind, focusing inward on the power of your imagination and how creative you are. And I'm going to count from 1 to 3, bringing you out of this relaxed state of hypnosis, and you're going to realize that all of this applause is for you, and you're going to go ahead and take your seat feeling great. So 1, take a nice deep breath. 2, realizing the room around you. And 3, eyes open wide as you accept this applause. Thank you, man. Now I'm sure we'll go ahead and some of you are looking at me like this is crazy. We'll have to take some questions from you later, because I'm sure we're going to want to know what that felt like to you. But really quickly, for those of you at home and those of you that are wondering what the heck just happened, hypnosis is an interesting thing. We can create some very special emotions in people when we perform hypnosis. And as you can see, I didn't use any cards or coins or anything like that. Those of you that know me as a magician, I do like to use those tools for communication and for entertaining. But what happens when you leave the house and you don't have anything on you? What happens if you're at school, work, and someone says, hey, I heard you do magic. Can you show me something cool? One of the first things that happens in this situation, and it's happened to me over the years and years of performing magic, the response that normally comes out as a magician is, oh, yeah, okay, I don't have anything on me, but does anyone have a quarter or a pen, right? So this is normally the response that comes out. And what's cool is, as a hypnotist, you don't really need to make any excuses anymore. You can get straight to performing, and you don't need to not practice, or you don't need to not do it because you don't have cards. And one of the best ways to get better at your magic, guys, is to perform it. As much time as we spend performing from the mirror at home, locked away in our libraries, the magic never really gets to breathe until you go out and perform it. So hopefully by learning this routine, it'll kind of give you some courage to go out and try. Once you do that, the doors are open. You can perform magic all you want, or just have a conversation and meet someone new, okay? So let's have someone come up and we can explain how this works. And if you want to experience what that feels like, please come up and we can explain it, and you'll also feel that. Yeah, I see this guy smiling back here. He's like on the edge of his seat. I know you guys can't see the audience here, but name? What's your name?
I'm Ricky.
Ricky? Ricky. Awesome. So this is Ricky. We didn't set this up, so this is not like, okay?
Not at all.
So let's try a different experiment with you with this type of catalepsy here, where your body just becomes stuck. You've got a pen. Can I borrow your pen? And does someone else have a pen? 2 pens. Two pens, one guy. No, never mind. There he goes. Hold this just like this. Like that. There's no specific pattern to these routines. You just tell people to hold the pen. Yeah, so you guys can figure that out. And you just hold those nice and tight and press them together. Okay? Now, Ricky, what I want you to do is focus on the spot where those pens meet. Don't let them separate, but just squeeze them together. Use your peripheral vision. Like your peripheral, you can see my hand here, but you're not going to look. See, you're looking directly. I want you to focus here. Use your peripheral vision to see what I'm doing, okay? So just try to make out what I'm doing. Don't look specifically, but just try to figure it out, okay? Now, in your imagination, can you see the string?
Not really.
Not really? If you can imagine it there, what color would it be?
White?
Yeah? So what happens when you try to slowly separate those pens? What happens? What does that feel like?
Weird.
Until the string just vanishes and you can separate.
Crazy.
Isn't that weird? Now these pens are $49.95. You can email us. Thank you, thank you. So now, what's happening with it? What's happening there?
I don't know.
You know? Okay. Let's try something else with you. Take your hands, put them together like this. And I'm going to teach all this stuff if you guys are going nuts at home. So just hold it just like that. Take your fingers, point them straight up. Focus on the spot in between your fingers, and then separate those fingers as far as you can. Ricky, imagine that there's 2 powerful magnets in the tips of those fingers, drawing closer and closer. And no matter how hard you try to fight it, they get closer and closer. And the closer they get, the more attracted they become, the tighter they get. And when those magnets touch, you can simply close your eyes, take a deep breath, and relax. 3, 2, 1, all the way down, relaxing every muscle, every fiber in your body, simply relaxing from your head to your toe. You will not fall down, you will not fall, you will hold yourself up. But every single fiber, every muscle, relaxing 3 times deeper now. Nice deep breath. Now in a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 3. When I do, you're going to come out of hypnosis, but it's almost going to be as if your name is completely gone. When I ask your name, it's just gone from your mind. It's not that you don't remember, it's just that you just can't say it. You know when you flip into the radio and you hear a song and you're like, I know the name of this band, but you just can't say it? Nod your head if you understand me. It's like your name. Your name's going to be completely gone from your mind. 1, 2, 3, eyes open wide. How do you feel?
Good.
Good? Yeah? You know my name? What's my name?
Jay.
Yeah? What's his name?
I don't know.
What's your name?
Ricky.
You know your name. What if it was just completely gone from your mind? What would that feel like?
Really weird.
Really weird? Now just try to say it like, wait, you can see it right here, right? It's not gone. You can see it right there. Try to say it.
Ricky.
There you go. You got it. Awesome. Do me a favor. Take a deep breath. Right back out into that relaxed state. And sleep. Eyes closed all the way down. I'm going to count from 1 to 3. Send you back to your seat. This applause is for you. 1, 2, 3. Eyes open wide. The applause is for you. All right. All right. Now, let me get those pens back again. I want to teach you guys this real quick. If you ever are in a situation where you don't have these, you guys could do this without them. The way Duncan's hands stuck together, the way the fingers draw together, and the way that these pens stick together, it's essentially the same thing. And this isn't quite hypnosis, but to me, I like to call this hypnosis training wheels, because for a lot of people that are new to it, it'll start enabling you to practice this hypnotic language. Okay? So the first thing to remember is that I'm using something physiological in this. How many of you recognize that there was something happening that maybe wasn't pure mind control or hypnosis, but I was using sort of a gimmick? So that's like magic language, right? I was using a trick. So if you want to experience this at home real quick before I show you the pens, you can do this. Take your fists, squeeze them together like that, interlock the knuckles. Okay. Don't focus on anyone else, just focus on those fists. You can look at those and pick a spot on your hand. It could be a line, it could be a mole, it could be a hair. Just focus on that spot. And if you're at home, do this, because if you miss out on this, it's really a great experience to just feel how this works. Squeeze those together. And in your mind, use the creative part of your mind, your imagination, and imagine that those hands are solid magnets. Like two solid magnets, they will not separate. And when you're ready, when you're convinced that they will not separate, you can just go ahead and try to separate those as slow as you can, and you'll find that they attract closer and closer. The more and more you try, the more attracted they become, tighter and tighter, stuck together. Right? So clap for me if you felt that. Yeah? So I just want to know. Okay. All right. So this is what's happening. When we use a long enough time for the body to create a muscle memory, what's going to naturally happen is when you ask someone to separate those hands, the body's naturally going to want to just have them come back together. It's just a physiological thing. So if you try it at home or if you do it again, you'll feel that. It probably only takes about 10 seconds max. You don't need much longer than 10 seconds. But when you've got that going on and they're squeezing their fists together, you're basically going to implant what's called a hypnotic suggestion. Okay? And the language can get kind of crazy. So I just want you to remember that all you have to do is use your creative mind to come up with what you should say. For instance, imagine that those hands are two solid magnets. That's not hard to remember, right? Pulling closer and closer. So if you watch this video again, you will be able to, you can kind of hear what I say to get the exact scripting. But what's happening is I'm layering on the hypnotic suggestion as they're feeling this physiological thing happening, so I can basically capitalize on that. Once their mind starts believing that it's what I'm telling them or that it's hypnosis, this doesn't matter anymore. They're going to be completely stuck. Same thing when Duncan was up here. I took that same phenomena and I brought it from the hands to the elbows, to the chest, to the whole body, and even to the vocals and everything else. So you can really have a lot of fun with that. I'm burning up sweating, so if you guys have any questions about that, please ask away. Any questions?
So what happens when, like if someone, kind of like what Ricky did, where he was still able to like remember his name and stuff, what happens when they didn't fully?
Okay. That's going to happen a lot. It happens to me as a professional. It's happened to me in paid performances. It happens live online. So it's going to happen. And the great thing about hypnosis is it's okay. You know, if you're ever in the middle of a magic trick and the card that you pull out of your pocket is supposed to be the one that they're thinking of and it's not, right? You have to have an out. You have to have some way to get out of that. Or in many cases with magicians, it just, you messed up. You messed up the trick and it's over. There's no way to recover from that. When it comes to hypnosis, the amazing thing is that my mindset toward it is we're going to have fun with this stuff. And if it doesn't go exactly how I want, I can still focus on what happened that was positive. For instance, the pen sticking together was a big enough phenomena for me. And anyone can do that trick. It's actually a schoolyard trick that I learned in 3rd grade. But over years and years, I started layering on the hypnotic language to make it more of a hypnosis routine. But what's cool is anyone can do that, so we can kind of push the hypnotic phenomena further. So I can push it to locking his hands, locking his arms, locking his body, locking the voice. And if it doesn't work at any one point, it's okay, because this still worked. So when I have you come up and I have you close your eyes again to go back into trance, I'm basically going to remove the hypnosis in a sense to end that session. And that's ended. And you can always end on a good note because something good did happen. Does that make sense? Does that answer your question? And so what I want to encourage you guys to do is try some of these training wheels because they happen almost automatically and you don't have to worry too much about what to say and if you're doing it right or wrong. So any other questions about that? None? None? All right. Let's try something else. Can I get another volunteer? Let's get you up here. Yeah. Want to try something with you? This should be fun. Face this way, and your name is?
Brian.
Brian. That's my middle name.
Cool.
No joke. J. Brian. So, Brian, do me a favor. Take a deep breath. Have you been hypnotized before at all?
No.
No? Okay. Do me a favor. Stand right here. And actually, face me. But I want to make sure the camera can see you. And I want you to just remember any feelings or sensations that you have from this point on. And you're going to be as descriptive as you can to describe them to me, okay? So go ahead and take a deep breath for me. Close your eyes. You're going to feel something right around here in a few seconds. So just do me a favor and describe to me what you're feeling in this very moment right now.
Nothing yet.
Nothing? I want you to just focus around this area, right around here, okay?
Kind of like a weight on my throat a little bit.
Yeah? Can you describe it now, what it might feel like?
No.
When you breathe, what does that feel like?
Kind of like a frog in my throat.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Now try to swallow for me. Okay. Now try to swallow now. Try to swallow again for me. What does that feel like?
Feels weird.
Yeah? Do me a favor, take a deep breath. I'm going to have you come back into the room. Open your eyes. Big round of applause for this guy. Thank you. Now, you may feel something for the next few minutes, but it will subside and it will go away. So, all right. How many of you want to learn that? Good. All right. What's that? Oh yeah, thanks. This takes a lot of energy out of me. It's like David Blaine when he needs the water after he levitates. I need a massage. All right, so the Jedi choke, as we've dubbed this, I guess, kind of like a Jedi choke or a Sith grip, as the guys from the UK called it. So this is a fun routine that you guys can do right away. This also works off of physiology. How many of you are familiar with Banachek's PK touches? All right. If you're familiar with that, if you're a mentalist and you like doing that, this is a great addition for that. So I don't want to give it away, but if you are interested in PK touches by Banachek, you can look that up. Go get it. I think it's on Penguin Magic, so you can grab it there. But I don't want to give that away. But what I do want to say is that this routine is definitely a great addition to that or within your touches routine. I know Patrick Redford has some great work on touches that I learned about recently, so there's a lot of really good work on this. The reason I came up with this, or the reason I started doing this, is because I wanted to do a PK touches that didn't involve dual reality, which if you learn about that, you'll learn. You don't need dual reality for this. There's no specific lingo per se, but it does work in real time. When I'm asking my spectator to describe what it feels like, it's right then and there. They're not describing something that happened at any other time. So, I know you want to feel this, so come up here, Duncan. Stand right over here. This is really fun. I don't recommend doing this as like the first thing you do. If you guys do street magic and you go out tonight, probably don't want to do this for your first routine. You probably want to like get to know someone first or do a few routines and build some rapport. But this is what's going to happen. I'm going to have someone take a deep breath. And in hypnosis, this is something I always do at the beginning of my routines. And do any of you know why I do that? It's not so much because I want them to get in a relaxed state, which it does do, but I also want to get into a relaxed state for myself. If you ever go out and you get nervous before you perform, whether it's mentalism or magic, make an excuse to take a deep breath for yourself. Because if you're going to read someone's mind, right, and Darren Brown talks about setting up the process for this, you want to have them take a deep breath. Let that out nice and slow. Good, good, good. Right? And it's as if that breath has something to do with what's going to take place. And it does. It actually will make the spectator more relaxed. You're feeling relaxed right now, aren't you? But for me, it also relaxes me. So, a little tip there. I'm going to do this, tap the shoulders, and I'm going to say, in a moment, you're going to feel something right around this area. And if you do this to yourself, you could feel, there's 2 collarbones that you have. Yeah, just take your hand and put it on your chest. And your first finger, you can do this too, you can feel this. Your first finger will, can we zoom in on this? The first finger will sort of land right there. And let me move your hand so I can get in there and do this. So there's these 2 collarbones here that I can basically see. And my hand's going to go on the chest, and the finger's right there. Now this is important that if you're doing this for females, that you probably practice the area first, because you don't want to be feeling all around for it. But all I'm doing is I'm taking my first finger and I'm adding pressure. Now this is a big tip for you guys that try this today. Don't push that way, okay? That's not good. You're it will really hurt if you push that way.
Yeah, don't do it.
What I'm doing is I'm pushing downward. I'm taking my first finger and I'm almost like I'm pulling a trigger of a gun, and I'm just pressing down. You can feel that, right? So I've already pressed that area, and we'll talk about why this does this. But if I ask you to take a breath for me and describe what that feels like, what does it feel like right around there?
It feels a little tighter.
It feels a little tighter, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if I ask you to breathe nice and slow again, now what does it feel like?
More open.
More open?
Yeah.
Now swallow for me. And now try to swallow again, right? Can you feel what that feels like? What does that feel like?
You can't do it.
You can't, right? So I'm working off of 2 things here for this routine. That all the timing has to do with when I say what, right? So if you press this point, this is like a pressure point right here. We learned this in Taekwondo. Like if you want to like bring someone down, you can take that finger and do that, and it'll kind of lock someone up if I press hard enough. But you don't want to do that. I'm only doing about 10% of what I'm supposed to be doing to do that. But it's just a light press. Now, pressing that pressure point is going to create a tightness automatically. And you can still feel it now, yeah? Mm-hmm. When you breathe, go ahead and breathe. All you're going to be doing is directing attention to that spot with what you say. So I'm going to say, focus on, here's where I do the move. Focus on this spot right there. Close your eyes for me. You're going to feel something right there in a minute here. And I just want you to describe what that feels like. As you take a breath, just describe to me what that feels like.
Feels like you're pushing right on my Adam's apple.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, swallow for me. What does that feel like?
It feels like it's swollen a little. I don't
Yeah?
know.
Yeah, and swallow for me again. All right. And go ahead and open your eyes. Okay. So now you guys can see what I did. While your eyes were closed, I'm basically acting as if I'm doing the choke, right? So you can stand however you want. You can be as theatrical as you can about it. But I'm just using timing. Okay, and the word specifically here is I want you to describe to me what you're feeling right around here. You're going to feel that in a moment. Describe for me right now what you're feeling in this very moment. Okay? They're going to describe to you what they're feeling. And if some of you may be thinking, well, it's kind of like a stooge, you're stooging the guy into being part of it. What happens is they do initially feel this pressure when you press. But it's very subtle. You didn't feel like I was pressing it then and there. You might have felt like I was just rustling there. But no one thinks about that. What they do is when you have them describe what they're feeling at that moment, which is later, that's when they start describing the sensations that are happening right then. Okay? So the first part is describe to me what you're feeling right now. Take a nice breath. What does that feel like? They're going to say something like a tightness or pressure. Then you take your hand like you're pointing and you do it like that, like you're kind of drilling it in, and you say, now what does it feel like if we magnified that, which is hypnotic language. Imagine if we magnified that. What does that feel like? And they're going to say something more. It's tighter, which is normally what you get. Now, here's another phenomena that I've learned when I was like probably 10 years old, riding in the car on a car trip. If you try to swallow, everyone do it at home. Oh, you swallow it now. Now try to swallow again immediately. Right? It's freaking impossible. Right? You just can't. There's no hypnotic language to make that happen. It's just physiological. Like you can't do it twice in a row unless you're, freaky or something's going on. But this is something you can capitalize on as a hypnotist, because when you swallow, I say, go and swallow for me. Usually, because of what they've been experiencing, they're already in a hypnotic sort of rhythm, as we would call it. So they might not be able to swallow in the first place, which is what happened here. When you have them try again, that's when it's... I'm trying to avoid saying the word swallow. So when you have them do it again, it's almost impossible for them to do it. So you can capitalize on that physiology while practicing your hypnotic language. I think you and me are in hypnotic rapport, aren't we? So I'm not going to go ahead. I'm not going to touch you at all. I just want you to close your eyes for me. Okay. Take a nice deep breath. Get it nice and slow. Okay. In a moment, you're going to feel a pressure right around your abdomen. So go ahead and just let me know when you feel that. You can just nod your head for me when you feel it. Yeah. You might feel a tingling in your toes right now, so just go ahead and nod your head when you feel that. Yeah. You're going to feel a sort of a dead weight in your arms and in your hands, so just go ahead and nod your head when you feel that. Yeah. And then you might feel a chill go down your spine, almost like a breeze or something. Yeah. Okay, go ahead and open your eyes for me. Take a deep breath. And this applause is for you, my friend. Thanks, Duncan. All right. What I want to talk to you about right now is hypnotic rapport. As you can see, if you've ever studied hypnosis or if you've seen a hypnosis show, there's normally something in the beginning of the hypnosis show that's called an induction. Okay, so when you guys start researching hypnosis, when you start looking to learn it completely, you're going to start learning about this induction process. And there's different ways to do that, and we're going to be talking about that a little later. But the reason why I'm giving you guys these tools now is because you can create a lot of the hypnotic phenomena without the induction process. For instance, everything that we've been doing today sort of is just a demonstration of how powerful the mind works. But if we open that door to how powerful the mind works, in a sense it's hypnosis, okay? Because hypnosis, by definition, is directing someone's attention and funneling it down into one specific area, exactly where you want it to be, okay? So if I built hypnotic rapport with all of you by this time, if I said, close your eyes for me, yeah, right, you all do that, and if I say, take a deep breath for me, and go ahead and let that breath out nice and slow. Now notice how your heart rate starts to increase as you focus on that. Can you nod your heads for me? Can you feel that, right? And you can feel that. Go ahead and open your eyes for me. You can feel that because I'm simply directing attention to that area. So when I directed attention to your hands, to your feet, to your breathing, everything will magnify that feeling, okay? So what I'm doing is I'm capitalizing on this basic focus of attention. All right, so that's the first thing I want you guys to realize. Some of you are looking at me, and I can see you at home. You're looking at me like maybe this isn't really hypnosis, or what does this have to do with magic, maybe? And I really, truly believe that hypnosis over the course of, 5, 7 years now, I'd say 7 because it started back in what was it? 5? Yeah, before that. And it's really helped my magic as far as where I want to direct it. And if you watch a really good magician, for instance, Paul Vigil, if you go to Vegas and you see this guy, he really knows how to take your attention and focus it exactly where he wants. So what I want you guys to do is take a hypnotic approach to your magic, and if you're going to do anything like a simple card trick or just a vanish of a coin, take the time to really direct focus and attention to that. Maybe get outside of what you're thinking how this looks. Is it, am I doing everything right? But take an approach to, I'm going to focus all of their attention exactly where I want it to be. And then start sort of playing with this concept of playing with emotions and saying certain things to make someone feel a certain way. Here's a quick example. Imagine that I had a lemon in my hand, right? Right? Have you guys heard of the lemon test? Right? If I take a lemon and I cut it in half with a knife, and now I've got 2 slices, and I just start to squeeze the 2 slices, you can see the juice go down my wrist, and I take one of these halves and I just do that. And my mouth starts watering up, salivating, just like your mouths are watering up right now, right? So I can basically take this simple concept of a lemon and talk about it and tell a story about it, and it creates the emotions in you, right? So think about how that could help your magic. If I'm doing a card routine or telling a story about how I performed this routine at an event, what emotions can you add to that? What could you say about yourself or say about the magic that will suggest to people what's going to happen? Does that make sense? Good, good. If that doesn't make sense, I don't know what else I could say. Yeah, but that's just fun stuff you can do with hypnosis. Does anyone have questions about the hypnotic process in general? Because I want to make sure that, especially for you guys here tonight, this is something that you can go out, when we go out to eat later, you can just do this for someone. Are there any questions about this stuff and how it works? Really? Okay.
What if you're in a noisy environment? I mean, how does that, what obstacles does that create?
Though they won't be able to hear you. But this stuff also, it does work. I've done it in clubs and bars. The thing is you have to just be cognizant of your surroundings. Sometimes it does create an excuse to get really, really close to somebody. So if you're in that environment where you have to yell and get in someone's ear, the key is to just not yell and just be direct with the language. Because yelling will just turn someone completely off to it. And my advice to especially magicians and hypnotists is if you're in a loud environment where this stuff might not work, take it elsewhere, right? Save this stuff maybe for when you start getting to know someone and they start asking about what you do, right? And it's, well, what do you do? Well, I could show you, but right now it's probably not the best environment. I'm actually a hypnotist. So, oh, really? If they really want it, so well, where do we need to go? Right? Like, should we go outside? Should we, No, I'm serious. I'm serious. And that's one of the first things that we talk about in magic is setting the frame for who you are as a performer. If someone says, oh, I heard you're a magician, do a trick, there's no reason you have to do a trick right then and there. Right? There's no reason you have to bust out your favorite card trick or something you've been working on. There's no reason. It's actually much better if you say, you know what, the stuff I work on, I've been practicing for a very, very long time, and I'd love to show you, and maybe a little bit later, if you get to know me, I could share this with you, right? That way you're not always caught off guard, like you have to perform right then and there. So, yeah.
You seem really confident around a diverse group of people. How do you choose when you're out or when you're in a room how to perform? Or, I'm sorry, who to perform for?
Who to perform for? I'm going to give you a tip that I learned from one of my good friends, Tim Cummins. Hope you're watching, buddy. Tim makes it clear, and I totally agree with this. When you guys go out, there's always this sense of nervousness, right? Like, well, what if I mess up? Or who do I perform for? Because I don't want to interrupt this group of people, or, you know what I'm saying? So this is a simple rule to go by. Who looks like you would get along with, right? When you if you go into a busy place, like the mall or something, or anywhere you want to perform, and you kind of scan the room, who looks like they would get along with you right away? Who might share the same style? Who is wearing a Beatles shirt or a band, the band, right, like that you like, and you know about that band, you can start up a conversation. That's always the best way to kind of gauge where to start. If you're getting paid to be there to perform, you got to perform for everybody, but it's always good to find the people that sort of seem like you would get along with. and then not be so quick to say, hey, I'm a magician, can I perform something for you? Because then they're going to go, no, no thanks, right? Or they might say yes, but then you're dealing with that probability. The best thing to do is start at an angle of a social interaction. So if someone looks very interesting to you, and you're naturally attracted to the shoes they're wearing, and you say, dude, those are cool shoes, where'd you get those? Right? You started a conversation, and it's not about who do I perform this magic for, who do I demonstrate this to, it's I want to have a good time tonight. Who looks like they would be, who I could get along with. So that's my approach to it, and life's more fun that way when you're just around people that you like. You know, why hang out with someone that you don't like, right? So.
We got a good question from Adrian out in from home. How do you separate physiological effects from hypnosis? Where's the boundary between like the stuff that you've done so far? Someone could look at that and say, "Oh, this is a physiological effect." Where's the boundary, and how do you sort of distinguish and make it into hypnosis?
Well, that's a good question, Adrian. And honestly, there is no boundary. What's the difference between a trick with a gimmick and a trick that's sleight of hand? There's no difference other than what the magician's point of view is. And as a hypnotist, if I do something like, let's say, magnetic fingers, which is very physiological, right? And someone says, oh, I know that trick, it's just the muscles in your hand, right? Because you might be worried about someone might say that or call you out. It's just physiological, it's not real hypnosis, right? Well, in the beginning I said, let's have a little fun with this. Let's try something kind of neat. I'm not saying I'm going to hypnotize you right now, which is a big mistake that a lot of hypnotists make. To walk up to someone and say, I'm going to use pure mind control, no sleight of hand, nothing. I'm going to hypnotize you right now. Are you ready? Right? It's an interesting approach. You felt a little weird, right? Almost like you were going to go into trance. It could work. But you know, why not start out with something physiological? I just think it's an easier route to get into, like training wheels. Now, where do I draw the line? For you as a performer, once you start doing these and they're simple for you, start pushing the boundary of where you can take that. One thing that I learned from Anthony Jacquin is that these simple tools that are so childish, you know, the pens, I learned it from third grade from these girls in third grade with rocks, right? Some of the things that you learn when you're a kid are still phenomenal because adults haven't seen them. And also how you take that phenomena and apply it to anything else, right? For instance, let me show you something cool. Come up here. What's your name?
Chitrak.
What is it?
Chitrak.
Cheat-trick?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. This is interesting. It's not a magic trick or anything,
Okay.
but did you know, like, see the skin on your elbow?
Mm-hmm.
It's, here, move this way so they can see this. I'm going to squeeze this as hard as I can.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready?
Yep.
I'm actually squeezing it as hard as I can right now.
Okay.
You can't feel that, can you?
No.
This
I
is-
mean, I can feel, but it's
there's no pain, right?
No, yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Well, yeah.
It's weird,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Do you know how many conversations this has started for me, though, at like a nightclub or a...
Hey,
and I'm like,
I thought it was really cool when you shared it with me one night. Yeah, I remember that. That was cool.
It's just crazy. It's just like, dude, this is crazy. Look at this. I'm going to squeeze your elbow in, like, as hard as I can.
Yeah.
Can you feel that? And just people start tripping out. They start showing their friends.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, good, thanks for having us. It's weird. It just doesn't hurt. But the reason why we do that is it just breaks the ice, right? And all of you have an amazing magic trick that'll break the ice. Like maybe your shoelace ties itself or something. Right? Great trick. But if you don't have that with you, if you're not ready, there's so many things you can play with. So for me as a hypnotist, Adrian, back to your question, I just want to say where you draw the line is wherever you want to draw it. I've done these same type of silly routines. I've started out full stage hypnosis shows with this, going into an induction, which I want to go into in a little bit here. But no one ever comes up to me after the show and says, that was an amazing hypnosis show, but it was in the beginning there I used a lot of physiological tricks, right, to get me into, you know, it's never the case. It's, man, that was a great show. It made the event. And capitalize on the things that are easy. You know, if you guys remember Invisible Deck, when you first learned that trick or when someone first performed it to you, it blew your mind. And I know it blew your mind. It was the first trick I saw ever when I was 17. And there's no reason after all of these years of learning so many other tricks and techniques that we should ever discount Invisible Deck, right? There's no reason I couldn't do that in a paid performance, wrap some amazing presentation around it, maybe some hypnosis, and get paid for that, and put as much value as I can on the first trick that started my passion and my career as a magician. So I guess where I draw the line is I don't want to draw the line because, yeah.
And where do you tend to do, or you progress into sort of more sort of traditional hypnosis after you do a little bit of this in the show, or can this be the show?
This can be the show. In fact, there was a talk that I gave at a San Diego Investors Club, and they had me come out and speak. This was a real gig, and all I did was have everyone get out of their chairs, hold their hands out like this, do this, right? And I only had a 15-minute set, so I did this routine, and these were all adults, grown people. No kids in this audience. Most of them were millionaire investors, real estate people. They were just so amazed by this because it's so fun and novel, and it was a break from what they normally see. And what you have to remember is most people don't see this. But yes, you can do this in a regular show. You might want to have a traditional stage hypnosis show. And what I like to do is I like to incorporate a lot of these physiological things for the entire audience first. And there's some clips I know that we have up for you on, there's a demo of me on Penguin doing some inductions. That whole show started out with this magnetic fingers thing. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, I think that was great. And so I have a few more questions actually coming in from the live stream, from the live audience. I want to save them because they're starting to get a little bit more general. And
are they getting angry? Are they are they calling me names yet?
They're about some things also that I think you're going to talk about in a bit.
So let's save the questions for a little bit. And,
some of these I'm going to save to the end.
And okay, good. This is the first thing I want to teach you guys. It's I'm going to touch you a lot already. Some of this stuff it looks quite simple, right? The pens, the fists. This is the foundation for a lot of the hypnosis that I do. And I'm talking, like I said, I'm talking about a whole show. So the first thing I want you guys to do is this one. You can do it at home with me. Take your hands, clasp them together just like that. Take your two first fingers. I'm going to rush through this because I know a lot of you guys are hypnotists. You've seen this a million times. But for those of you, the magicians that haven't seen this, or anyone that hasn't seen this, separate your fingers as far as you can and focus on the space in between your fingers, because in a moment those fingers are going to touch. It's almost as if there's powerful magnets in the tips of those fingers, drawing them closer and closer and closer. And the more you focus on those powerful magnets, the closer those fingers become, and the closer they become, the more attractive they get, until they finally touch. And when they do touch, you can simply close your eyes, take a deep breath, let your entire body relax. Excellent. Take a nice deep breath for me. Eyes open wide, your hands can now separate. Excellent. How many of you felt actually like your hands were like stuck together? Did any of you feel that? Yeah, a few hands raised. Once again, I'm going to capitalize on that too. But really quickly, if you do this for anyone, you can watch this video later and learn the exact pattern. I'm taking my pattern from Anthony Jacquin and the Head Hackers. This is the way they teach it, and it works 100% of the time, or not all the time, but it does work a lot. Usually you'll have maybe about 10% of the people that have figured out a way to fight it with their muscles, and they're not going to give in to you. But probably about 80 to 90% of people are going to follow your instruction, and those fingers are going to come together. When you clasp your hands together like this, and you put those two fingers up and separate, you can already feel a physiological pressure bringing those fingers together. That, coupled with the hypnotic language, imagining that there's two magnets in the tips of your fingers drawing closer and closer, and the closer they become, the more powerful they get. All of that language layered on top makes for a great hypnotic phenomena. Now, that can be the basis for the show, as we talked about. But that's one of the first things you should start doing now to get used to taking on the role as a hypnotist. So how do we get into traditional hypnotic phenomena, as they would say? Well, earlier you saw catalepsy. Duncan couldn't move, right? You saw amnesia. not being able to speak. You saw some hallucination, which was the white string. There's some different hypnotic phenomena that happen. But all of the terminology aside, all of that is classic hypnosis. It is all traditional hypnosis. But the key of this lecture, the whole point, is that all of it's going to start from a simple, almost magic trick-based level, where all of you can do this. Okay? So let's try something that I think is very powerful. And if you're concerned about whether this is going to be... do we have another stool or a table that's not this one? Because I don't want this one to... Oh, this one might work. Yeah, this should work. I don't want you to feel discouraged, like, well, I'm not going to be able to do the advanced hypnosis routines if I only learn these. These are actually pretty advanced, if you think about it, because most people don't actually do these. They see how easy they are, they see how simple the process is to do them, so they shy away. And they start searching for more difficult things or things that take more practice because they equate difficulty and practice with the quality of the effect. And that's not always the case. Like Invisible Deck, I mean, classic trick. Svengali deck, classic stuff. It's strong, it's powerful, just like the first time you saw it. So let me show you something really quick. Can I get a volunteer, someone that I haven't used? If your brain doesn't feel like mush, you can try this. What's your name?
Scott.
Scott. Big round of applause for Scott. Awesome, Scott. We didn't set this up ahead of time, did we?
No.
Okay. Take your hand, put it right there. What I want you to do is I want you to focus on a spot on the back of your hand, and I want you to imagine that I have a big, powerful magnet, and I'm pulling you through that table. Can you feel me pulling you through?
Mm-hmm.
Slowly try to lift up your hand as I pull you through. What does that feel like?
I can't move really. Like there's a force pulling it down.
Yeah. Is it like a magnetic force?
Yeah.
Watch, if I release that magnet, look what happens. And there's nothing in my hand?
Yeah.
Big round of applause. You can stay up here, though. Right?
Okay.
Simple, okay? I think you magicians are going to love this, but at the same time, if you want traditional hypnotic phenomena, go for this, because this is as traditional as it gets. This is pure suggestion, and it's great. I'm going to have my spectator put his hand here, okay? And there are some hypnotic tricks in here where I'm either pushing or, I've seen these before in the past. I'm not doing that, even though my hand is here touching. I just want to build rapport with my spectator, right? Because if I want to steal his watch or his wallet or something, he's used to me So,
You're both there.
yeah. Several things that I'm going to do. I'm going to take my hand and I'm going to go, imagine that I have a big, powerful magnet, okay? Oh, let me backtrack a little bit. Earlier I said focus on a spot on the back of your hand. Always want to have them focus in one spot. If you don't say this line, they start looking at you, looking around at their friends and their buddies, and it breaks the concentration. I want you to be focused completely on the back of your hand, almost as if there's a laser beam going right through your hand, right through the table, right through the floor. And almost as that laser beam is a complete solid, like a steel spike, all the way through. So now look what happens when you try to lift that hand. Impossible, right? Unless I break your gaze. Now you can lift that up. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Okay. Same thing, okay. You're not hypnotized, are you?
No.
No? Okay. Okay, now this is what's going to happen. I'm going to say, imagine, so he's focusing now. Imagine that you have a big, powerful magnet. And I'm, boom. Right? That's when I start. And I'm pulling you through the table. And I smack the bottom of the table. Very important that before this routine, you look under the table, make sure there's no nails or gum that's really hard, and then it just ruins the whole thing. You want to smack the bottom of the table so it creates a shock, okay? And when I first did this routine, I learned this from my friend Phoenix in Australia, in Sydney, Australia. He's a cruise ship illusionist. He goes on cruise ships all over the world and does illusion stuff. He's amazing. And he showed me this. He did this for a girl. And I was trying to use hypnotic language and all the traditional stuff. And he said, no, Jay, you just got to go like this. Look, a magnet pulling you through. Can you feel me pulling you through? And the girl was like, yeah, look. And then I take the magnet away, and it worked. And I learned a lot from that. Okay, you can release. What I learned was it's just confidence. It's confidence. He was so confident that when he did it for this girl, there was nothing else she could do but listen to him and agree and feel it. It's a very strange thing. But a lot of hypnosis and traditional hypnosis is based off of this confidence. Any hypnosis book you read, like Reality's Plastic, they're going to talk about be the hypnotist. Change your perspective. If you're a magician, I'm the magician. Change it from I do magic, I practice magic, to I'm the magician. It's as simple as that, right? And the confidence was so big that this just worked. And I took that routine and I taught it at the first live lecture in Vegas. And one of the people in the front row was I think he was an engineer or someone that worked with machinery. And he said, I know why that works. And always open your mind up if someone knows something or if they know more than you, right? Always open up and listen. So I said, what's going on? He goes, when you do this and you slap the bottom of the table, it creates that vibration, that shock that goes up here. So when I time it with this, imagine that I'm pulling you through. Can you feel me pulling you through?
Kinda, yeah.
You can literally feel me pulling you through. It's not hypnotic suggestion.
No, yeah.
Okay? And let me tell you why this works. When I'm slapping the bottom of the table, like I said, vibration goes up. Mm-hmm. The body naturally compensates by putting pressure back. Right? Now you're like, yeah, that's cool. Because this, watch, I'll just do it right now. Just press down, right? Feel that?
Yeah.
So your body goes, ugh, right? And when I time it out, I'm saying, can you feel me pulling you through? And they go, yeah. So that physiological thing is my first sort of gimmick. But don't let that discourage you. Use your tools. You're a magician. You're a mentalist. Use that tool. So, sorry, as soon as they're here, right, you can feel me pulling you through. Can you feel me pulling you through? And my attitude is, can you feel me pulling you through, right? You can feel it, right? Can you feel that? Yeah? And I'm really, like, seriously, if you're in a loud environment, just go for it. Like, don't be shy about this stuff. There's no shy hypnotist, okay? I think when I just started the lecture, I was a little nervous, a little shy, but let the inner hypnotist come out. So when you do this, it's almost like a shock thing to them if you kind of come out and do that, right? Mm-hmm. So can you feel me pulling you through? Can you feel that?
Yeah.
Right? And what does that feel like? This is a great thing to do to test your work. You say, what does that feel like? And they'll say, just like you said, it feels like it's a force pulling me, a magnet. Look, and then I say, look, if I take that magnet away, look what happens. Right? I don't say, I'm going to take this magnet away and your hand's going to release. Don't sell yourself short or lock yourself into a box. Just say, look, I'm going to take the magnet away and look what happens. Because what if they stay here and they go, I still can't move it? It does happen. It does happen. They go, I still can't move it. And then I say, isn't that amazing how it just works like that? And then you walk and you leave. But yeah, thanks for helping me out with that. I hope that, use that one. It's fun. It's fun. Big round of applause for this guy. Huh? So any questions about that, on how that might work and how you can use that? And I know this is not the traditional hypnosis lecture where I'm teaching you the history of hypnosis and who Anton Mesmer was and NLP and all that. I just want to give you guys tools that you can do to start and get excited about this stuff.
Yeah. That table had like some flex to it, so like
yeah.
if you were hitting the bottom, it was like you could see his arm like moving,
mm-hmm.
vibration. If you do it with a thicker wood table, like do you want to try to make it a thinner table or?
Well, you can't make it a thinner table.
Well,
I know what you mean. But no, go for it. There's no reason you can do it on a countertop. You can do it on pretty much anything. But the cool thing about this is when you guys go out to eat with your buddies late at night, or if most restaurants, the tables are about that thick, and it's perfect. But like I said, just watch for the screws and stuff, because that's happened to me. Smash and stab upside down. No fun. But as far as the hypnotic phenomena goes, where how far you can push it, it can start from there, right? Had I removed the magnet, the imaginary magnet, and what was your name again? Scott. And Scott just didn't move, then, like I said, I would have kept going with that. If he's stuck there, I'm going to make his arm stick, just like I did with Duncan earlier, right? Look, now you can't move your arm. Now you can't even move your neck. Now your whole body's frozen, right? And there's no hypnotic language there. I'm just describing what I want to see, okay? And if you want to kind of spice up the hypnotic language, you can say things like, look, it's almost as if your body is carved from one solid piece of marble, right? Like like if you've ever had to go to the bathroom, number one, and your friend's like, man, it looks like it's gonna rain outside, and man, like water dripping, and they just start creating these emotions, and you're like, dude, stop, because emotions do a lot and words do a lot. So if I want to create someone stuck and frozen, what are some words that you can use? Don't be shy. You don't have to be a hypnotist to answer this. Like, what are some words that would describe someone being stuck? Rock. Rigid. Statue. These are all in hypnosis books. What is it? Hard. And he did it with like the smirk. What is it? Like glued, stuck, tight, solid, right? Sealed, shut, right? All of these words are great. So start coming up with, what would that be called in the English language when you, just descriptive words that would describe that? Any English people? I'm not really even good with them. What is that? Adjectives, I guess. But handsome, sharp, intelligent. But these are all words, and they all work, right? Does anyone have any questions about that before I go into the hypnotic language stuff?
Yeah, we got a great question from Monty.
Yeah.
Monty asks, do you have any confidence-boosting tips to help you build the relationship? Because so much of what you are doing seems to be, really the strength of it seems to be coming from the confidence that you have coming up to it.
Well, I thank you so much for that comment, because I think a lot of it does come from confidence, I agree, but let me just say this. I'm standing up here in front of you guys. There's like 30 in the room or something like that, and there's, I don't know how many watching at home, thousands, I don't know. I still get nervous. I'm nervous as heck. And since I was 5 years old singing up in front of the church, I still get nervous. I was in theater, I performed magic shows, hypnosis shows, I was a drum major for marching band. I'm still nervous. But don't confuse your nervousness with confidence, okay? Nervousness may always be there. As a hypnotherapist, sometimes people ask me if I can remove nervousness. And the whole key is teaching them that nervousness is the same emotion that you get before going on a roller coaster, that you know you're going to have a great time. It's the same type of adrenaline, but you're just mistaking it. The association is different. So without getting too technical on the hypnotherapy, let's talk about confidence and how we can create that. Imagine a time in your life where you were absolutely confident, where you knew exactly what was going to happen. You were either going to perform a show or you were going to ace this test that you studied for weeks. And you were absolutely confident. Maybe it was a driver's test. Maybe it was a speech that you gave. Is there a time in your life that you can think of right now where you were absolutely confident, chest out, head up, feeling good? Everyone can nod their head. You don't have to share, but yeah, we can all think of that. Sometimes all it takes for you to do, if you're going to perform and you're really nervous or not feeling as confident, is to just think about what it would be like if you were confident, or what it was like when you were confident. And the only difference between a confident person and a non-confident person is just the action, right? Because you can be looking at me going, man, you seem really confident, and all this comes from confidence. But inside, I might be really, really nervous. I just got to deal with this, right? So I have my jitters. You guys see me sweat, and you guys know what's happening. I can't hide it. But my whole entire goal is to deliver the information, to deliver the message that this stuff is powerful. So if you're strong in your frame of who you are and you know exactly what you want to do and you're satisfied with that, then there should be no room for non-confidence. You might be nervous, but you're all pretty confident. If I said, is the sun going to come up tomorrow, what would you say? Right? 100% confident, right? And there's no doubt in your mind that it's going to happen. So what's the difference between you walking up to a group of people, starting a conversation, and showing them any one of these routines? What's the factor that might be keeping you from not doing it? Or what's making you not confident about that? What might it be?
Afraid it's not going to work.
Afraid it's not going to work, which is fear, right? Was that?
Maybe look foolish in front of people.
Yeah, you might look like a fool in front of people. But here's the thing. If you don't perform, what is the pain of not performing? If you never performed any of this magic that you worked on, none of this hypnosis stuff that I showed you that's really, really quite simple, and if it seemed kind of confusing to you or you don't think it's that simple, it is. Even if you just tried something as simple as the pen sticking together or the fists, what would be the pain of not doing that? What if you never tried this stuff?
You never know if it works.
You never know if it works. What if I watched someone do the invisible deck in like 1996 and I was like, I could never do that. And then I just never bought that magic trick. I never worked at that shop and never moved to Vegas. And nothing would ever happen. We wouldn't be here today. But someone else would have done that. Someone else would be up here teaching something. So your future depends on you going for this stuff. So if there's anything that I can tell you to increase your confidence or anything like that, it would just be to start thinking about the bigger picture about who you are as a magician, who you are as a hypnotist, and just go for it. You know, that's why, you know, you guys are going to have some amazing lectures coming up in the next few weeks. I mean, some of my heroes coming up here. I remember seeing Josh Jay when I was like 18 years old and he was 16, and seeing his lecture, just seeing how sharp this kid was. And he's going to lecture here in, what, 2 weeks? A few weeks from now, from this lecture. So, man, if guys like that were just let a little bit of nervousness or non-confidence get in their way, they wouldn't be around. So, yeah, look at it like the bigger picture. If you want to learn some tricks to get more confident, some physiological tricks, let me show you an example. Who wants to feel more confident right now? I mean, don't be shy. I do, and I'll do it right now. Anyone? Or at least try a confident exercise. Anyone want to help me out here?
Sure.
Yeah, come on up. Okay. This is what I want you to do. And I don't know if the camera can get this, but I want you to, and maybe the camera doesn't have to go, but you can go ahead all over there, right where the cord is, that orange cord. And then I want all of you to watch him, and the camera will get you when you come into frame, or the camera can come this way. Go ahead and walk this way normally. Yeah? Yeah. All right. Good. Was that a confident walk? What do you think? No, it wasn't. Okay. Now, this is what I want you to do. You go back over there, and I want you to imagine that you have a 20-foot cape hanging from your shoulders. Just imagine it's pinned from here to here. It's 20 feet long, and it weighs about probably weighs about 50 plus pounds. It's velvet. It's thick. It's like a king's cape.
All right.
Okay, and just imagine that it's connected here, 20 feet long. So just go right back over there. When you turn around and face me, the cape will appear. Doesn't that feel weird? Right? Now look at him. He's more confident. Walk this way. It's much better, right? And you know what I did notice? Okay, this is a tip. You could try this. If you're ever feeling like you need more confidence, just imagine that you have that cape on. You even had like a swagger like when you came this time, you know? And another thing that you should notice, you NLP guys out there, you probably didn't see it, but your gaze didn't break from me. Like the first time you walked, you looked around and you looked down. This time with the cape on, you looked at me directly and you never shifted focus. When someone sees you coming their way and you've got that gaze of confidence, they're automatically going to know that you're from a different planet, or that you mean business. You know, this guy's different, or this girl's different, right? So you definitely want to just try that out, and I think it'll, even if it's just a trick, it really, really does help. So, thanks. Any other questions?
I'm going to save it today.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's try something a little bit more on the magic side, but still hypnosis. Still very, very, very hypnosis. Deck of cards, which all of you have. And someone want to experience hypnotic phenomena that just hasn't come up yet, or yeah, come on up. Stand right here. Yeah. Name?
Colin.
What is it?
Colin.
Colin. Nice to meet you. Colin, say hi to everybody.
Hi.
Feels kind of weird out there, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know how many people are seeing you right now?
No idea.
Yeah. Don't worry, just wear the cape. You're good. You're good to go. This is what I want you to do. Take a card out. You can show them at home. You can show me. It really doesn't matter. It's not about the card, but it is about you. Just imagining it in your mind. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Hold out your hand just like that. Put your hand right over that. Okay? I want you to squeeze that in your hand. Okay? Think about the card in your mind. As you squeeze down, imagine that card completely goes from your mind. It's completely gone. If you want to close your eyes and imagine that, you can too. This card is completely gone from your mind. In fact, you might be even to feel it in your hand right now. But if you use your imagination, you can wipe that out. All of that sensory stuff is completely gone. The card is gone. The memory of the card is gone. You can't even remember the name of the card. That's completely gone. Take a deep breath. Open your eyes. Look at me. What's the name of the card?
Queen.
It's going to come back to you right now. Here we go. Ready?
Queen of diamonds.
Let me see. You got it. Good, 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 good. Thank you, thank you. You guys can clap for him. That was good, that was good, that was good. That means the force is strong in you, man. You got good imagination, very, very creative. Now let's take it a step further. Take a deep breath again. Let your eyes close. That's right. See that card in your mind? Completely going. And when you're ready to go into hypnosis, just nod your head for me. Deep breath. And sleep. Eyes closed all the way down. You can just drop that card, relaxing every muscle in your body, every cell, every fiber, simply relaxing all the way down. Just letting your body relax from your head to your toe. One nice deep breath. Now in a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 3. I'm going to touch you on the shoulder. This is going to send you even deeper into hypnosis, more relaxed than you are now. Take a nice deep breath. Counting down from 3 to 1. 3. Feeling wonderful, feeling great, understanding that your mind is very powerful. Your physiological genius right now. Your mind and your body are connecting. And 2, take a nice deep breath again. Letting that breath out nice and slow. Just relaxing every cell, every fiber. Listening to the sound of my voice. Every sound you hear, every moment that goes by, simply sending you deeper and more relaxed. And 1, all the way down. That's right. Understanding how powerful your mind is, how amazing it feels to just be at this state. You don't have to worry about anyone else, just listening to the sound of my voice. And it's so easy just to relax. Let your mind drift. Understanding that what I say from this moment on is reality. Every suggestion I give you, sit in your mind and it will become your reality. Nod your head if you understand. Take a nice deep breath. That's right. You're doing just fine. On the count of 3, I'm going to bring you out of this relaxed state. Every time I ask you your name, you will simply tell me that your name is Jennifer. Jennifer is your new name. You don't have another name. It's just Jennifer. You're proud of that name. In fact, when people laugh at this, you're almost going to get upset because you're very proud of your name. It was given to you by your dad and your mom, and you're very proud of this name. Nod your head if you understand. Nice deep breath. 1, 2, 3, eyes open wide. Big round of applause for you, my friend. Excellent. Awesome. Thanks for helping me out. You know, I have a lot of really good volunteers over these shows, and would you just tell everyone your name right now?
Jennifer.
Jennifer. Excellent, excellent. Jennifer, that's an interesting name because it's not a normal name for you. Jennifer.
For a guy.
Yeah. Do you feel like a Jennifer?
Yeah.
Yeah? What if I said Jennifer's not your name? What's your name?
Colin.
Bat. Thank you so much. Simple, simple. And do you remember your card?
Queen of diamonds.
Very good, very good. All right. Why did I do that? Quick little example there. I was waiting for you to get mad at me. But this is an interesting thing that you can do. The way this works with the name, I'm simply taking someone into trance or into hypnosis, and then I'm going to go ahead and give them a suggestion. It could be any suggestion. One of the easiest suggestions you can give is hot or cold, right? So if I ask you all to close your eyes and just imagine that it's getting a little bit warmer in the room. It might even feel like the air conditioning's broken. It's about 10 degrees hotter. Can you guys feel that? Nod your head if you can feel that for me. Good, good, good. Now I want you to think about what it would be if it was 20 degrees hotter now. All of you can feel that. Now the air conditioning's on. It's coming back to normal. Actually, the air conditioner's on full blast now. It's about 70 degrees. Oh, it's actually about 60 degrees. Can you feel that? A lot of you are feeling a lot cooler now. So go ahead and open your eyes for me. How many of you could feel the temperature just shift? Yeah? All the hands raised. That's good. Now, what's the point of that? If you're practicing your hypnotic phenomena, you can always try to shoot for something amazing, like your name's gone, or you forget the card, or anything you want. You can take your pick of hypnotic phenomena. But if you kind of go with your odds here, you can practice simple things, like hands sticking together, like your name. That's something that's simple. And what I did was more of a traditional hypnotic phenomena for you. There was nothing physiological about anything that I did. The memory of the card going, the name changing. These are all just things that, if you want to just imagine in your mind what you would want your show to be, then you can start kind of structuring your show around that, or what you would want to do. So now that you know how all of the easy stuff works with hypnosis, did anyone have any questions about what I just did for Colin? Anyone? Any of you here? Yeah, Colin.
Just something interesting I noticed when I had the card in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
Just as it warmed up to my hands, and then like you tapped the back of my hands or something, it almost felt like the card physically was not in my hands anymore. So I just wanted to point that out because that was kind of interesting because it was right when you were talking about the card leaving my mind and everything.
Okay, so if you didn't hear him, when I tapped the back of his hand, he felt like the card completely vanished. And the reason that happens is, well, I know exactly why. In this state, when you bring someone into a relaxed state, if you just, without the hands or anything, if you just tell somebody, take a deep breath, let your eyes close, that's right, and just focus on the sound of my voice. Okay? It's one of the easiest hypnotic inductions you can do. Because as they focus on the sound of your voice, you can simply give them the suggestions you want. Okay? Now, does this work? Does this mean you just go up to the bar and start talking to a girl and say, go ahead and take a deep breath for me, and close your eyes? It's probably not going to work unless you meet someone really cool. And in that case, you have to build some sort of rapport, hypnotic rapport. And as a hypnotist, at this point, with all of you in the room, there's really, a lot of this stuff starts getting easy, especially when someone's experienced this for you, or you've done the pens on somebody. They're going to understand that you're a hypnotist. So you can really take the hypnotic phenomena further. So start going for things like amnesia. Start going for, now your name's gone. Now your name's something different. I really recommend checking out, Reality is Plastic by Anthony Jacquin, or looking into the Head Hackers Trilby Connection, which is an amazing DVD set for those of you that are interested in hypnosis in that sense. And I know we're going to be doing some stuff with Penguin with some live events. So if that interests you, start sort of setting your navigation system toward learning hypnosis on a grander scale. Because this subject is so vast, it's really hard to put it all into a 2-hour lecture, especially when I want to give you guys just these practical tools that you can go out and use, like now. Like, you guys can pretty much do this stuff now, right? And if you don't feel confident about it, how soon do they get to watch these live things?
Within a few hours.
Within a few hours. Watch the performances again, and this is crazy, okay? Just copy what I do. Just copy me. Don't worry about the language. You can copy my language exactly, but don't worry about why it's working now. Just go out and try it. There's nothing dangerous about any of this stuff, so you can go out and just experiment and have fun with it. Especially if you're doing magic already. It's really going to open the door up for you guys, just to try some things that they're not as dangerous per se, where like you might get caught if they see me palm the card, or if I don't do the timing right on this trick, it's just not going to look good, right? The reason why I like hypnosis so much is my social interaction has nothing to do with that. So I can just go out and have fun and talk about something that I'm really interested about. And in my experience, not only in Las Vegas, but San Diego, all over the world really, it's people like this stuff. They want to talk about it, and they will ask you about it. here's a tip that you guys can try. When you go out next time, keep the cards in your pocket, and when someone asks you what you do, tell them you're a hypnotist. Even if you don't do any hypnosis, just say, I'm a hypnotist. And listen to everything that they say at that point. Because they're going to say so much about their perception of what hypnosis is. And it's so interesting. It's going to open your mind and go, man, I really should probably learn this stuff because people are really, really interested in this. Now, you will get people asking you, well, can you help me quit smoking? Can you help me lose weight? Can you, do you do hypnotherapy? Or you will get those questions. And it's really simple. You just say, you know what, I don't get into that. I do more like entertainment-based hypnosis. And if they want to see it, they'll ask you. But it's just a great experiment to do tonight when you guys go out. And I know on the West Coast, it's still 4 o'clock or whatever over there. Go out tonight and have your magic ready if that's what you normally do. Hopefully you guys go out on Saturday nights and you practice magic like me and my friends did. But try being a hypnotist for one night. Just make pretend it's Halloween or something and you're a hypnotist tonight. And just introduce yourself that way. And watch what happens. If weird things don't happen, if you don't get just interesting reactions without doing anything, then you can email me. Follow me on Twitter, by the way, Noble Lazada, and tweet me and say, it didn't work. You're fake. It didn't work. I promise you. Ever since I just shifted from I'm a professional magician from Las Vegas to I'm a professional hypnotist from Las Vegas, or not even from Las Vegas, professional hypnotist, the perception changed, right? So what it enabled me to do is get in front of a different clientele. And I know many of you in the room may not be performing hypnotists or magicians, but a lot of you listening that are professional magicians, if you want to instantly gain more attention from corporate clients or event planners, start learning hypnosis and adding that to what you do. Not only for the financial pluses of getting paid a lot more, but at the same time, the type of clientele you will get, the people that want hypnosis, it's completely different. It's going to open up your world in a big way. So I don't want to get into that because I know a lot of people aren't really even planning on performing professionally, but just keep that in the back of your mind. Let me plant that seed. When it comes time for you magicians to start performing professionally, and you get out there and you start gigging, consider hypnosis. Even if it's just a few routines that you mix in with your walk around, like the pen, like this stuff, any of the stuff that you learned tonight, go for it. I guarantee you it's going to set you in a different direction. I had a lot of hypnotists in my training group, and students of mine, email me before this lecture, and they said, Jay, don't give away too many secrets. And it's kind of hard not to. I feel sort of I feel like as a magician, as in this brotherhood of magicians, I feel like I need to tell you guys about hypnosis because it's helped me in a big way. It's opened up my doors. So everything that I'm teaching you, or everything that you already learned, is so super powerful. And if I didn't accentuate that, if I didn't express it that way, please understand that these simple routines will go a million miles. They really, really, really will. And if you understand that, I hope you understand that all of the magic that you already do, I know you've got a drawer at home, barely open it, and it's filled with stuff. There's a trick in there that you learned when you were just starting out that just fried people, fried you when you did it, and it fries everybody when you do it, and you just don't do it anymore because you either got bored of it or it's just not what's cool right now. I want to just encourage you to just get that old trick out. Start doing it some more and refining it. And you'd be surprised how many tools you already have as a magician. Like, real eye-opener for those of you that are learning hypnosis. At my training events, we have probably anywhere from 50 to 70 students come in and learn for the weekend. Half of them are magicians, just because of the Penguin Magic and magicians that want to learn hypnosis. So half of them speak our language. They know what a double lift is. They know what mentalism is. So if I ask you, utilize your mentalism with some of this hypnosis, I'm sure you're instantly thinking, yeah, I can use, it's kind of like that James Brown kind of stuff where he integrates it right into his magic, right? You already know you can do it, but the other half of the hypnotists that come out, and I know some of you are watching now, you don't do magic, you don't do mentalism at all. So a lot of these guys have a distinct advantage. The magicians and mentalists have a distinct advantage. And really quickly, because I don't want to go too much into this, but this is important. The students that come to the training and leave after the weekend and experience success with their hypnosis, whether it's performing on stage, whether it's going out and just continuing to do what they learned in class, like all of the phenomena, and just going out and becoming a professional hypnotist, majority of those guys were the magicians and mentalists. Because one, they already had tools to go out and interact. Maybe they already had a reputation as an entertainer, but they already were performers. They already knew how to walk up to a group of people and interact and perform something. So if you're thinking that, if you're a magician and you're thinking that, well, this stuff is kind of interesting, I want to get into it, and I don't know how to start thinking about how you can use your magic, right? Don't think that you have to make a jump to hypnosis and just be a hypnotist. Now you've got more things to work with, and who knows, maybe you'll become a professional hypnotist, or maybe you'll just keep doing magic and mentalism, but you'll have this hypnotic angle to certain things. Yeah?
We got a great question. How is the street hypnosis different from the stage hypnosis? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. It's the same. It's actually the same thing to the core. The main difference is this. Stage hypnotists get paid a lot more, right? Because as a stage hypnotist, you're getting hired by people to have you come to their event and perform on stage. Street hypnosis, it's more for like practice. You know, the reason why we do it is because we want to go out. The people that really love hypnosis, you go out and you just see how far you can push it. Like, let's see if I can go out tonight and get free drinks. Or let's see if I can use hypnotic language or entertainment to build rapport with someone enough where maybe you can ask for the dinner for free. Or, hey, man, can you give us a discount on our food? And just see how far you can push that. Or maybe do hypnosis where on the count of 3, when I open my eyes, you're going to realize that I already paid for my check, right? And push it. And if it doesn't work, haha, funny, right? But that's what we do. We like to have fun with that. As far as stage hypnosis goes, you have a distinct advantage. A lot of this confidence that you see or you think that I'm using, a lot of the hypnosis that goes on has to do with your perception of the situation. When you see the advertisement on Penguin and it says, Hypnotic Secrets, says Jane Oblazada, what does it say? It says high-impact hypnosis. When you see that, you already know it's hypnosis. You're not coming to this lecture expecting magic. You're not coming expecting mentalism. You're coming expecting hypnosis. So you already have a frame of mind around it and what you think hypnosis is. Am I right? That's one of the distinct advantages you guys have if you want to do stage hypnosis. When someone sees your advertisement, right? If it says, Colin, performing at the local comedy club, comedy hypnosis, yada, 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 yada. They see his picture, they see the hypnotic spirals. They're already in this hypnosis mode. So when they get into the theater, when they sit down, you already have a really thick layer of hypnosis going on where you can pretty much own that show. And stage hypnosis is so easy compared to street because you don't have to walk up to strangers and go, hi, my name's Jay, I'm a hypnotist, right? You don't have to do that. They're coming to see you. If any of you want to really own your magic show, create a show. Pick your 5 routines, create a show, have it at your house, invite people over and do a show. Videotape it and then send it to me. I'd love to see it. But do a show. If you're wondering why, if a trick is going to work or not, put it in your show. If you go out and try it on the street and it doesn't work, it's going to be a numbers game. You perform and perform and perform until you get these good reactions and you find out what works and didn't work. But for stage hypnosis or a set close-up magic show or something like that, you have that layer of hypnosis. So yeah, I go on and I ramble, but that's the difference, is just that.
I have a bunch of questions, and
Okay.
I just want to make sure that I'm not slowing down your
No, we're not
presentation.
slowing down.
Are you, just out of curiosity, are you finished with your your
I'm
set
pretty
of.
much, yeah, but if anyone wants to see anything,
Can we
they-
talk
they
about
can
the
ask.
last trick that you did with is it the card? Is that called the Jedi mind trick?
I don't really have a name for that. To be honest
Okay.
with you, I didn't know what I was going to do, so I just had Colin come up here and I put a card in his hand and
Can you talk a little
Oh,
bit
right.
about how he forgot the name of the card?
he forgot the name of the card. Yeah. There's several suggestions that I'm going to plant. When I'm having him close his eyes and imagine that the card's completely gone, completely vanishes from his mind, it's almost like I'm telling him what's supposed to happen covertly or through the hypnotic language. So you didn't completely forget the card, did you? You knew it the whole time. But when it was time for you to say it, it was almost like you were unsure whether you should say it or not. Am I right? So for that, for when I see that happen, to me, I knew that that card was going to come out eventually. And I really wanted to, as Paul Harris says, he says, take that crowbar and hold it in that astonishment and crank it open as long as you can. That's the same thing that I see with hypnosis. If you're going for this amnesia, I'm going to sort of hold that open as long as I can. So if I see that they're going to say their name, I'm going to jump in and I'm going to say, look, you can say it, but it's almost like you forgot it. I'm going to jump in there. So what happened was he knew the card. It wasn't gone from his mind. He was almost just unsure if he was supposed to say it. And if you have good hypnotic rapport with someone, by that time, when you've had them imagine that it's gone, like it's completely gone, when it comes time for them to say it, when you ask them, they're going to be second guessing. What am I supposed to say? Am I supposed to say it? Was it red? Was it red? Was it a queen? Because the hypnotist said a lot of stuff, so I'm not really sure now. That's going to translate to just the thought gone. And if you watch the video again, you're going to see it wasn't a very long time that he forgot it. He was almost going to say it, right away. But I stepped in and I said a few things, so I don't know exactly what I said, but I did capitalize on that distance of memory.
In that sense, is that part of the routine? Could that be considered a dual reality?
Yeah.
Where it's really more the audience that's astonished
Yeah.
that they forgot something?
Yeah. Well, let me say this. When it comes to dual reality, there's a lot of dual realities happening in hypnosis, probably a lot more cerebral than we think. The hypnosis experience for all of you may be different. If someone's on stage sort of playing along with it and going along with it, if Colin was up here and I could tell he was just going along with it, giving me a wink or just, I would know. There would be a level of, okay, this isn't working. If he's up here doing everything I say, maybe not the strongest reaction, but I'm still getting hypnotic phenomena, right? I'm still getting a little bit of hesitation when it comes to recalling memory. The name, of course, was simple, the name change. When I see that happening, I'm just going to use it and capitalize on it. I think I lost track of the question on that one. But isn't that funny how your memory can just go?
I think you answered it. It was
Yeah.
about whether that could be considered a dual reality. What do you do when someone clearly isn't working out? I mean, it seems like it'd be easier if you're just performing one-on-one on the street, but say you have a small crowd or a large audience. What
Yeah.
do you do when someone's just not working out?
I'll say this. It's an interesting situation here with the amount of people in the room, and I've just got one spectator. If you're doing this for stage hypnosis and you've got 20 people on stage or 10, you can very easily, if someone's not hypnotized or obviously just trying to ruin the show or they're not, you can simply just go up to them and say, thanks so much for joining us, go ahead and take a seat, and you can send them away. This is something that stage hypnotists do. It's very effective for everyone else, but let's not go into stage because it's a much broader, a much more robust study, stage hypnosis. But when you're performing one-on-one, let's say for a small crowd at home or you're at a party, and it doesn't work, honestly, for me, I don't care. I really don't care. I do care in this situation because I know you're here, and I need to show you the hypnotic phenomena. So watch this thing again. You'll see that some things weren't as perfect as they could be. I don't have the magic of editing here to just give you my best performance and put it up on YouTube, and that's how it works. This is real. This is live for those of you watching right now. But if it doesn't work, in the first place, let's kind of rewind a little bit. When you do your show, you have to really come with this attitude of, we're just going to have fun tonight. You guys ready to have fun? Yeah? Go ahead and clap for me. Good. Just once. Right. Clap. Excellent. Again. Okay. That has nothing to do with anything. I just wanted you guys honestly, you know, Anthony Jacquin wrote the book Reality is Plastic. It really is, right? If I want to go outside and perform a coin trick or a card trick, that's up to me. If I mess up, I can go, fuck, that didn't work. Man, I got to practice more. Or I can go, oh, that didn't work. Let's try something else, right? Simple. Or you can just say something funny like, well, you can imagine what it would be like if it worked. It'd be cool, right? Here's my card. I'm a professional magician. Well, I bet you they'll remember you more for that instead of just, oh, okay, never mind then, you know. So if you're in a set show, let me just address this point really quick. It might be kind of weird to just have to think about just bowing out, oh, it didn't work. If that's a shot to your pride because, man, a bunch of people saw me fail, good. It's going to do something to you. You're either going to practice more or you're going to learn how to deal with it in a different way. You know what I'm saying? What would have happened tonight if none of this stuff worked? What would have happened if none of the hypnotic phenomena would work? I wasted all the time here. I'm not thinking about that. I'm just thinking about coming out here, having a good time, meeting people, and showing you guys what I love to talk about. So if you're just doing magic or you want to get into this hypnosis stuff, like learn to love it. Learn to be so interested in it that everywhere you go, you just talk about it. If any of you come out, if we hang out tonight and go out to eat or whatever, it's the same conversation that I have with someone that I meet. Because within 2 or 3 sentences, when you meet somebody, they ask, well, what do you do? Right? Boom. Right? Doors open. Your mind is mine. So if someone asks what you do, you could say you're a magician. You could say you're a student. You could say I'm a professional hypnotist. It's your world, right? Just make sure you got the skills to back it up. If you got something to show it and prove it, that way, you don't just look like a creep, but you have fun, you know. So I'm not worried if it doesn't work in most situations. It's all a journey, and I'm going to learn so much from it.
One of the things that has kept me fascinated with hypnosis for like the last 10 years has been just always wondering if I'm really understanding it and wondering, oh man, is that real? Is that not real?
Yeah.
And then some people say, oh, it's fake, it's just acting. And yeah, I'm sure you have thoughts on that, but like so part of the question is, what are your thoughts on that? The second part of the question is, you're obviously being very open about what you're doing, whether it's real or not, because that's probably still debatable. But do you talk about what you do and how you do it when you're doing hypnosis for lay people?
No.
Like, do you teach them here? That's the the fingers thing. You can do that. You ever say like, oh, you can do that, or do you kind of like leave the mystery and the sort of
well,
wonder?
there's 2 ways you can do it. Explaining hypnosis can be a benefit in some shows, and yeah, I am pretty open about what I do just because of this situation. I want you guys to see right through it, and but at the same time, when you're as transparent as you can be about some of this stuff, there's no way to fail. There's no way to fail. It's like what's that card trick? Like there's no explanation for it, or it's the trick that can't be explained or something. Sure, it almost seems like you're just making it up as you go along, and it's really fun. That of course has a set outcome at the end, the card that they picked. But in this case, it's my end result is meeting somebody and connecting with somebody. That's my end result. It's not me looking like a god, like I control minds or that I can, do Jedi stuff, which is normal. It's the conclusion, right? People understand that. I don't have to beat it home with hypnosis. But the thing is that if my connection is sincere with people, that relationship that I have is going to be far more powerful to me than if I looked so good for that person doing this amazing trick. And I have some really close colleagues and friends in magic, and this goes totally against what you guys believe. And I know, you know who I'm talking to, Paul. But I'm not always concerned about fooling everybody in the room. I'm not concerned if I look foolish to that person or this person. I'm pretty foolish altogether. If you guys ever see me dance, it's like ridiculous. And I don't care. Like, to me, honestly, I really don't care. I have so much fun just being myself, and I hope you guys can just do the same thing. Like, just have fun. And like, if someone's gonna just be like, dude, that guy's weird, he does hypnosis, whatever. It's cooler than what a lot of people do, and I'd rather do hypnosis than a lot of things. So.
What do you feel about the kind of debate? Like, what I find endlessly fascinating about hypnosis is that I don't quite really ever know, or that I have, at least up until now, I haven't really known. Now, what do you feel about, how do you feel about the debate about whether it's real or not, and how do you think of it? How do you address it?
Well, if you're coming, well, I have different points of view when it comes to this. When it comes to performing a professional show, like a stage show, I don't care whether they believe it's real or not, okay? If you guys can see right through this and go, logically, okay, he's telling them what to do, and they do it, okay? Good. That's what hypnosis is, right? I tell you what to do and you do it. If you think that there's something about him that's causing people to just go with his words and they can't fight it, they just do what he says, then good. That's what it is, right? And I could spend a lot of time in my own studies trying to figure out what hypnosis exactly is. And yes, I have fun doing that. Working with different people around the world, it's fun trying to figure out exactly what it is. But I'm going to spend the majority of my study with hypnosis experiencing using it and having fun. And if your perception of hypnosis is it's just language and they're just doing what you say, then that's fine. Because I know people all over the world that are making a really fine living telling people what to do and they say it. You know, I get to do a show with no props, no cards, no setup. I don't have to get ready. I just put on my suit, bring my CD with my music, and go do a show. And all I need is what's in my mind, right? So, to me, that's empowering for me. And I don't really have a specific take on hypnosis. It's going to be an endless journey. It's like, you know, I don't want to say religion. It's not religion, but the search is going to be endless. Is it science, or is it something more than that? Is it just people playing along, or does this hypnotist actually have an effect over me? Some kind of voodoo. The more you study that, the more you're going to find facts that support whatever you're looking for, right? So if I say, it's my confidence, it's the way I look at you, the way I look at you is like no other magician's going to look at you. If I talk to you the way no other hypnotist or magician talks to you, and I treat you different, if you look at me and you just completely understand that I'm not cut from the same cloth, then that's exactly what I want you to know. And that's the truth. So if that's what I'm coming with, if that's what makes people feel really weird and under my spell, then good, then I accomplished my job.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I think that's like hypnosis. I mean, you can't watch a magic trick more than once, twice if it's great. But like, man, I could watch hypnosis anytime, all the time, and I'm like, what's going on there?
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's awesome. Can you define induction? Because you've used the word a few times, and I think it's a difficult word to kind of get.
And I'm really right now, I just want to apologize if this was a very strange crash course. I took you right into these practical tools without doing what it's normally the way I learned was the history of hypnosis, what it is, and this kind of understanding. But I think.
Actually, I'm sorry. Let me go back, because when we were before the show, you told me a great story about the word mesmerized.
Okay.
Can you tell me can you tell us the story of that word?
And then don't forget the question though.
And then the question after that about induction. I think that would be a good follow up to that.
Well, the story is about Anton Mesmer. And how many of you have heard of Anton Mesmer? Right? A few of you. Well, the word mesmerized actually comes from this name, Mesmer, M-E-S-M-E-R. And he was he's from Germany. He was a psychologist, but what he believed was that there's a magnetic force in the universe, right? Just sort of open your mind to this for a minute. And it's the same magnetic force or energy that's also going through our bodies, right? Everything has an energy, right? We all have learned that. Everything has a vibration of energy. This table has a vibration of energy, and you and me have a vibration of energy. A relationship can have a vibration of energy, right? Or music can have a certain vibration. So what he believed is that there was a magnetic field in this energy, and that by taking magnets, he could move blood in your body and actually cause your body to heal faster. So as a physician, what he would do is people would be either sick or bleeding or hurt, and he would lie them down, take these magnets, and this was like in the 1800s, he would take these magnets and just sort of pass them over the body, and healing would take place. Bleeding would stop, wounds would heal faster, sickness would vanish. And now, this is, of course, the story. Whether it's a myth or not, I don't know. But apparently, healing took place with these big magnets. So what happened was he was invited out to France, I believe, to do a conference and to show this stuff to all of the physicians and doctors everywhere, and medical doctors. And through travel, he lost all of his stuff, all of his magnets, all of his tricks. So when he showed up, he said, "I don't have any of my gear." And they said, "Well, you still, we still need to see what you're doing." So what he did was, without the magnets, just his hands, he conducted a healing, and the results were the same, right? So got the same positive results without those magnets. And that's when all of the doctors and physicians were like, this is BS. It's just the person believing that you're someone special or that you have something going on that makes them physically transform. So that was kind of the start of modern day hypnosis, where the study started happening with Dilts and all of the NLP guys today. I mean, it all goes back to them. So if I say Divernon, you know who that is. If I said Houdini, you'd know who that is. So Mesmer's kind of like the Houdini of hypnosis. But it's a really good story of how belief can create physical transformation. If I step into the room and I say, I'm a hypnotist, I'm a professional hypnotist, one of the best in Las Vegas, actually. If that's my belief, and that's what I tell you, that's true. That's true for me. It's going to be true for you because you just met me. If I come in the room and I say, I'm actually a timeshare salesman, and I sell timeshares down in Florida. If I tell you that, you're going to believe me. It's just like when you meet someone else at a bar, at a club, and they say what they do. You're not going to question that. But if you come with directness, it works. So what you believe and the belief that you put on other people, this does get kind of like spiritual in a sense, or kind of weird, but it has to do with confidence. If I say, oh, I'm a professional magician, and yeah, I've been doing it for a while, yeah, it's cool, as opposed to, yeah, I'm one of the best in the world, it's different.
This actually leads up to a really good question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you find it difficult to hypnotize a close friend or a relative who's maybe known you your whole life, who knows that, that's just Jay from my elementary school?
Yeah. Whoever's asking that question, you know the answer to this. You just know I'm supposed to cover it. Who was that, by the way? Is there a name on it?
I'm going to find that bastard's name, and I'm going to tell you.
Well, no, actually, what's interesting is I've read in books, actually, and I'm really big into beliefs and self-development, actually, but belief that if it is hard to hypnotize a relative or a friend or someone close to you, if I believe that, then it's going to be hard for me, right? If my belief is that, man, pretty girls make me really nervous, and I just can't perform magic around them. When I pull up the cards, I just can't do it. That's my belief, then that's going to be true. But the point is apparently when someone's close to you and they've known you all your life, they're not going to be able to get that thick layer of hypnosis over them, no matter how confident you are. Like, my Aunt Becky changed my diapers. Like, there's just no way I'm going to Jedi choke her. She's just going to be like, what's this guy? And nothing's going on. So, yes, it's true that family members and friends may be more difficult, but I've also had my brother, Joseph, ask me if I can hypnotize him. This was like a year before his wedding. He said, man, I'm really nervous about this wedding. Just hypnotize me, man. Get me so I'm focused and I get this stuff done. And I got to give big props to my brother. Him and his wife organized their whole wedding, no event planner and nothing. It was actually pretty good. But yeah, he had me hypnotize him, and I took him under, gave him good positive suggestions, and he went with it, and it worked. And I think that had to do with him respecting me as his brother and what I did, and not knowing enough about hypnosis or what I was doing with it, but giving him 120% of me. I didn't hold back because he was my brother or because... But that's hypnotherapy. If you're going for hypnotic phenomena like hand sticking and stuff, yes, it may be difficult for your uncle who taught you your first magic trick, so there's just no way you're going to fool him. Go out and talk to strangers. That's the great thing about this stuff is it's just designed to do that. Just be social.
Just to let you know, the guy's name was Bernoulli, who asked that
Bernard?
Bernoulli,
First name? Oh, I don't know.
the guy who asked
Okay.
that last question.
All right.
All right, just so,
So
you
I don't know you.
Just so you know.
Thanks for great question.
It
by
was
the
a
way.
great question, but just so you know.
Okay.
All right.
Right. Okay. Let's get into induction because there is. How much time do we have left?
We have plenty of time, so that's not a problem. Actually, before you get into induction, I have another question. It's I think, a good question to go before induction. Can you talk a little bit about the kind of countdown process when you're putting somebody under, quote, under, and kind of, because you did that a few times during these exercises that you showed us. Can you talk a little bit about that and kind of what's going on in your head when you're counting them down, and then what sign or signal that you recognize in someone as having been put under?
Yeah. Well, let me just do it by teaching you a 10-count induction, okay? Perfect. Or let's just make it shorter because I want to save time. Let's do a 5-count. I count down from 5 to 1, okay? I might have done it here with 3 to 1, bringing them deeper. Basically, what I'm doing is I'm giving the spectator a suggestion and a system to follow, okay? Somewhere to gauge. I'm going to count down from 3 to 1, bringing you deep into hypnosis, okay? This is very classical way to do it, but just so you have it, wrap your mind around it, right? Think about when you go to sleep. Has anyone ever told you, well, just count sheep and you'll fall asleep faster? It's the same thing. When you focus on something like a counting of something or focus on numbers, it just gives your mind somewhere to go. So if I say, I'm going to count down from 5 to 0, with each number you're going to get more relaxed and fall more into hypnosis. If I say that, that just gives them something to follow now. Okay? It's not a challenge. I'm not saying you're going to be hypnotized by the time I hit 0. That's not what we're doing. We're just giving them a place to think. Remember, hypnosis is taking their attention, funneling it down, and then guiding them through this process to become more relaxed, more receptive to your suggestion. Okay? So it doesn't have to be a countdown. You could basically do it without the structure of the numbers. But the countdown makes it easy for you as a hypnotist to remember where you're at. So let's go down from 5 down to 0 so I can give you enough steps. 5, I'm going to have them take a deep breath. So you can do this with me as you're sitting here at home. They couldn't be driving in the car as they're listening to this, would they? Okay, good. If you're driving in the car somehow, don't pull over. Okay. 5, take a nice deep breath. And let that breath out. Some of you are already closing your eyes, and that's good. Take another nice deep breath. And on this breath out, go ahead and let your eyes close, relaxing your neck muscles, your chest muscles, your shoulder muscles. Yeah. Excellent. And 4, another nice deep breath. Some of you shifting in your seats, getting more comfortable, and that's good. As you let that breath out, just realizing every sound that you hear, the sound of my voice, simply setting you deeper and more relaxed. 3, another nice deep breath. And as you let that out, focusing on your abdomen muscles, your leg muscles, all the muscles in your legs, simply relaxing, melting down, all the way down. Every care of the day simply drifting from your mind. 2, another nice deep breath. Understanding that if you feel a resistance in your body as you breathe out, if you feel a resistance in your mind and body, as you notice that resistance, you can let that resistance go. Just allowing yourself to become hypnotized. And 1, feeling from your head to your toe a sense of relaxation like never before. Feeling very, very relaxed, very good. And 0, feeling this absolute relaxed state of mind. Now in the moment, I'm going to touch you on the shoulder, and when I do, this is not going to startle you or awaken you. You can keep your eyes closed, but when I touch you on the shoulder, this is going to simply send you deeper, 10 times more relaxed than you are now. Understanding that your mind is very, very powerful, and you can allow it to just simply relax. I don't know if they could. Yeah. So when I touch you, just simply allow your body to relax. Every cell, every fiber, all the way down. That's right. Simply allowing your body to relax. That's right. Every cell, every fiber. Simply relaxing. That's right. Just allowing your muscles to relax in your shoulders, your abdomen, all the way down. That's right. Just continuing to breathe. Just allowing every single muscle, every fiber in your body just relaxing. Just relaxing. Take that from me. Just relaxing. Every cell, every fiber, just simply relaxing. And just go ahead and allow every muscle to simply deeper and more relaxed. That's right. That's very good. Just allowing your body to simply crumble. That's good. Your abs like loose, limp rubber bands, simply just relaxing further and further, deeper and deeper. That's right. More relaxed. More relaxed. That's right. That's right. Good, good, good. More relaxed. Now, in a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 3, bringing you out of this relaxed state of hypnosis. And when I do, you're going to feel a sensation go through your body, this energy that's just going to revive you. And if you feel like you were sleepy, if you feel a little stressed or maybe a little weary from the day, you're going to feel like you just took a 30-minute nap. You're going to feel excited, ready to learn the rest of this lecture, amazed at hypnosis and what it can do for you. And then you're going to go out tonight and try at least 2 of these really cool routines that you can do for your friends and family. So 1, take a nice deep breath. 2, realizing the room around you as you let that breath out. 3, eyes open wide. Go ahead and just stretch yourself out. Stretch your body. Good. Oh, how many of you feel like $1,000,000 right now? Awesome, awesome, awesome. Cool, cool. So now the reason why I wanted to demonstrate that for you at home, and if you got to follow the camera, that's good. I was just going to go into a traditional 10 countdown from 10 to 0 or whatever, or 5 to 0. But I saw a lot of people here start to go into trance. Eyes were closing, neck was relaxing before I even said to. So right then I knew I had to take advantage of the situation. So I went around, I deepened them. Okay, so the countdown basically is just a process to get them relaxed. Watch this video again so you can see exactly what I say, using classical hypnotic language. A lot of it's coming from, it's Ericksonian language, classic Ormond McGill stuff, stage hypnosis stuff, but it's just classic stuff. I use the numbers so they can reference, they can get deeper into hypnosis, and then what I do is what's called a deepener, okay? So to define induction, this is a question that we had earlier, an induction is a way to get someone into hypnosis. You're all hypnotized right now, whether you think it or not. All of you are hypnotized from the get-go, from just coming in here to learn hypnosis, but right now you're in a completely different state. Can you guys feel how different this is than you were about 5 minutes ago? Much different, more focused, right? So this is so important for you guys. When you start doing these presentations, like, you know, people ask, how do you do corporate presentation or corporate magic or corporate mentalism? Okay? And this exercise that you can do to bring people into hypnosis is great because companies like to see their employees or people where they work with get focused. So you can use this to focus people. So that's on a tangent. But that's an induction, counting down from 5 to 1, bringing them into hypnosis. It's just like an induction to the Hall of Fame, right? There's a ceremony, now you're in. And that's basically what it is. So an induction can be, take a deep breath. When I shake your hand, you're going to go into hypnosis, sleep. They fall on the ground, you're hypnotized, right? Like zap. They're done. So it can be fast, it can be long. I'm a bit of a romantic, so I do like the long, drawn-out stuff. Counting down from 5 to 1 enables you to have them visualize their neck muscles, their eyelids, everything. And I just imagine like I have a laser beam and I'm just, when I move down, your body just gets relaxed, right? So can you feel that if I just go like that? All the way from your head to your toe. So I'm just imagining from their head to their toe getting relaxed. 5 all the way down to 0. So that's an easy way to gauge. Originally, hypnosis, some of the early books I read, it was from the feet to the head, right? But Brian Campbell taught me that you should start from the top, go down, because it's all suggesting sleep and down, and everything like that. I think I have your phone. Oh, is that yours? Whose is this?
That's mine.
Yeah. Okay. And then I got. I got yours too. Is it a Galaxy S? No, there's so there's different ways you can bring someone into hypnosis. And that's what an induction is. It's basically the process in which we bring someone into hypnosis. Don't make it more complicated than it really is. Although what you saw might seem like weird, like what do you say, when do you say it, how do you touch people? It's really quite simple. I say, in a moment, I'm going to touch you on the shoulder. It's going to bring you even deeper, more relaxed than you are now. And if you want to watch this video again, you can see exactly what I said, who I touched, and what happened. The deepener works for two reasons. I'm going to touch the shoulder to see how far deep they are. If I touched you on the shoulder and you felt your body sort of just do this, how many of you felt that? I know most of you did. It's kind of like the sinking. That's a sign to me that this guy's going to be on stage. I'm going to invite this guy up because he's going to be the most susceptible. He's deep. If I tap someone on the shoulder, I touch them on the shoulder, and I move their hand, and they're almost rigid, like they're not, like they're cognizant. They're not letting themselves go. Maybe they're just overanalyzing, or they're trying to just fight me. As far as the hypnotic relationship goes, then I know. At least I know, and I don't use this person for a routine. Okay. But even if you're doing this one-on-one, this is a great way to gauge people. You do the countdown induction, and then you send them deeper by doing that. So here's your quick crash course, okay? Induction, deepener. Once they're deep, what do? You give them a suggestion. What suggestion did I give you guys? Right? Do you guys remember? I told you something. I said that when you wake up, you're going to, what?
Feel great.
You're going to feel great, feel well-rested,
30 minutes.
like you had a 30-minute nap. You're going to feel alert. I gave you those. Those are all hypnotic suggestions. So there's nothing different than that or saying your name's going to be gone and your name's going to be Jennifer from now on, right? Think about it this way. If I tell a child, you'll never amount to anything, just fall in line with everyone else at school, you're not special, don't act special, right? If I tell a kid that all through elementary school growing up, think about how they're going to end up. If I tell a kid, you're amazing, you're not like other kids. You're very, very special, and you just have this natural talent. You're like a star. I think you're going to be a star when you grow up. If I tell that kid that every day, how is that going to shape their behavior and their action? So to me, it doesn't work. It doesn't work any differently. If I bring someone into hypnotic state and I say, you're going to feel amazed when I count from 1 to 3 and you come out. You're just going to feel amazed. You're going to feel alert. You're going to feel excited. And I'm literally giving them as much emotion as I can. That's a suggestion. So we play around with stuff like your hand's going to stick to the table like it's glued solid, like it's stuck to that table. No matter how hard you try to lift it, you will not be able to lift it, right? It's the same thing, right? If I say, when you're done with this lecture, if you want to quit smoking, every time you think about smoking, you're going to think about me. You're going to see my face, and you're going to remember that I'm telling you that you can do anything you want. If you feel like you can't control your habit, all you have to do is close your eyes, think about me, and realize that you can do anything. It all has to do with your internal language and what you really, truly want. And when you're ready, you'll quit. Okay? So that's like $1,000 right there. Quit smoking. If you quit smoking, please email me and let me know it worked. Okay? But yeah, hypnosis is real for me. I mean, that's just a simple process, guys. Induction, deepener, give the suggestion. I bring you out of hypnosis, counting from 1 to 3. But when I say I'm going to bring you out, I say you're going to feel refreshed. I give my suggestions right there, right? And then they're out. Yeah.
Man,
It's a crash course, but
No, I just wanted to talk for a minute about the countdown and going under just now. I thought it was fantastic. That is only the second time that someone has done that to me. Mm-hmm. And the first time. What's that?
Well, who did the first time?
First time was actually Brian.
Yeah. My teacher.
In Vegas. Yeah. Now, I'd like to talk for a moment about it because the two experiences were very different, even though the technique was very similar. The first time I didn't really accept it as real because I didn't think anything had happened. Even though the same things happened, I think part of it is like I am a lot more comfortable with you.
Yeah.
And so I like knew, I'm like, you know what?
I put something in your tea on the
I'm
way
like, yeah, like, you know, Jay's like a brother. He's not going to do anything. You know, like I feel safe around Jay, you know, that kind of thing. I'm like, I mean, this is cool. Like, he knows what he's doing. Da, 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 da. And I mean, not like, I just felt so comfortable around. So the feeling was very different. And also, I've had like 6 years to kind of like question whether that was really it. And I think at the end of all of that, to have this happen and to feel that and go, you know what? Yeah, like, man, I like Jay. I feel safe around Jay. Like, I didn't feel like this like combat, like this mental combat. Like I didn't feel like I had to like defend my brain from you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I think I felt more of that at the time, and I think that made a huge difference.
Yeah, there's two things that I want to point out too, is that your environment is going to play a big part of your hypnosis. Think about in the future, okay? You've studied enough hypnosis in the future, maybe a year from now, and you can help somebody quit smoking. You could learn this actually in a weekend with me. But let's say you are doing this, and someone says, well, can you help me quit smoking? And you say, yeah, let's do it right now. And you're in like a loud environment, somewhere where they might not be able to hear you. That experience is going to be much different for them, as opposed to bringing them into your clinical hypnotherapy office where there's a couch kind of like that, nice leather couch, and there's music, and it's quiet, and you can be direct and focused. So your environment is a big thing. So I don't know where you were with Brian, but also it has to do with where you're at as a client or as a spectator. Perhaps you're not ready to be hypnotized yet, or you've got other things going on in your mind. And this situation is very simple. We're learning this stuff. But in ZAP, we talk about the triangle, right? And it's just this three-pronged model for how we look at hypnosis. One side of the triangle is my education with hypnosis and how much I know about it. The second point of the triangle is what they know about it, what I've told them about it, who I am, okay? Then it's here, on this third part, is actual hypnosis, the experience of hypnosis, and how they see hypnosis. So you've just got just these simple things to think about, right? The environment, what they're going through, and also what I'm going through. I don't feel like I have to battle your mind in order to get into hypnosis. If you think that, it's going to make it really, really hard on you. Don't think of yourself like an X-Men character where you have to try so hard to get this person to get there. Don't think about that. Think about this. Hypnosis is fun. Who doesn't want to do it? And you're really, really good at it. So it's just like giving someone some advice that, like, man, you really shouldn't walk barefoot on this glass, I'm basically saying you should try hypnosis. It really makes you feel better. It's fun, and you learn a lot about your own mind. So that, to me, is like my attitude is I'm giving you something. You got to be crazy not to try this. And if you don't want it, hey, that's your bad, And look at your magic the same way. You should.
I just want to say two other things, right? Like, one, at the first time that I did it, I was very skeptical.
Yeah.
Very skeptical. And also kind of like uncomfortable letting go of any kind of like consciousness. And I kept, I remember I kept saying, okay, like, all right, I'm not hypnotized. I'm not hypnotized now. I'm not hypnotized now. Back then, right? Because I'm like, all right, this is not going to work.
I wish you guys could see his face.
This is not going to work on me. This is not going to work on me, whatever. And I was just in a totally different place at the time. And the other thing is I happen to be somebody who's like not comfortable falling asleep when others are.
Yeah, but you're a lot different now than you are then.
That's
true.
true. But like, for example, I always am the last person in the house to fall asleep. Because if anybody's even in another room awake, I'm just not comfortable relaxing, Yeah. So I think you're right. I think I've just changed over the last 6 years. But it just is really interesting for me, and I wanted to share it just because there have been two very different experiences in my life from obviously two very similar hypnotists in the sense that,
He trained me.
He trained
originally,
you,
yeah.
and the technique was very similar. And so to see those differences and see the changes, I think it might help people at home watching to maybe understand why they may not feel hypnotized or why somebody that they attempt to hypnotize does not feel like it happened for real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, thank you.
Yeah.
Do you feel a difference in when you hypnotize a group of people at the same time versus just an individual? How does that change things?
It does change things. I feel like when there's just one person one-on-one, I can really, truly invest all of my energy and focus onto this one person, and I don't have to worry about everyone else. When you're dealing with a group, you have to think about audience management. You have to think about the volume on your mic, and there's a lot of things to think about. But you also have to look for distractions, Like if I'm focused on hypnotizing a group and there's a a distraction, like let's say the door opens and someone didn't know that there was a hypnosis thing going on and they start talking, I got to deal with that, right? Or if someone's cell phone goes off, or if my cell phone goes off, you have to be ready for that. But usually when it's one-on-one, you can just really focus and concentrate. On a bigger group, yes, it's much different. You have to just sort of turn your phaser to wide beam and then just direct it to everyone. And I want to encourage you guys to start getting used to talking to groups. If you have Toastmasters in your area, or if there's like a speech club at your school or something, or take acting for non-majors at your local community college, get used to getting up in front of people and doing things. It doesn't have to be magic. It doesn't have to be hypnosis. But I will tell you this, when I was doing hypnosis and magic in college, I got a lot of good grades in my acting classes because I was always performing, and they were just amused by it. So it does give you an advantage and gives you good practice.
I thought that the 5-second countdown was fantastic. When you do that, do you prefer the lights low, or does it not matter what the lights are doing? Can the lights be bright? I mean, they were bright here, obviously,
Yeah.
for the shoot, but do you prefer them low?
I don't have a preference for lighting, but some people do. So if lower lighting makes you more relaxed, then yeah, do it. You don't need it. You don't need it. It's all a belief, I think. But it's like, do I have to wear a suit to look to be professional? It's up to me. I mean, I could have easily, hop off the plane and just wear what I was wearing, but I wanted to dress good for you guys. I know you guys made time for this. So this, to me, it's all environment. So if you are doing hypnosis for someone and you bring them to an environment that's suitable for hypnosis, and you tell them, hold on, let me just make sure that the music's low. Let me turn down the lights a little bit. What does that do? That creates the environment. So that can have some hypnotic effect over people. So, think about that with your hypnosis. If you say you're a professional hypnotist, but you're kind of dressed like every other college kid in town, it's, it would be nice. It would be nice for you to show up dressed really well and just go out, and you don't have to wear a suit or anything, but just go out dressed nicer than anyone there. Great tip from Jeff McBride was always be the best dressed person in the room, like you have somewhere else better to go. And that, from him teaching me magic, that was like a really good tip that I've taken through my professional career and even till today, so thanks, Jeff, for that. But it was always dressed like you got somewhere else better to go, because people will look at you and wonder, and they'll probably ask you, like, where, what do you do? Like, why are you dressed up? Where did you come from? And there you go. Their ears are open, and you're a hypnotist, so start telling them your story.
During the countdown, it was great to feel when you mentioned the different segments of my body, to feel them kind of feel like they kind of just powered down, like every sort of cross, you go every foot down, or do you make a point of kind of hitting those points downward?
Yeah, like I said earlier, I want to, I have a beam and I'm just going down you like a scanner. So that helps me as a magician, or as a hypnotist, gauge where I'm at. 10 to 1 is going to be 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then 5 count, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So you just want to hit all those muscle groups. So pick up a book on human anatomy, on muscles and stuff, and just start learning some of the terminology, like your abdomen loosening, just getting more relaxed, your thigh muscles, your calves. I don't even know much about biology, but we all know the sections, right?
I didn't realize how much stress I was carrying until you did that. That was great.
Yeah, it's good.
Can you repeat the names of the hypnosis books that you talked about? I know you said Reality is Plastic, and you said that a few times. Mm-hmm. Can you name, just for the people who want to go really deep, can you list a few of your favorite books?
My personal favorite books, Reality is Plastic by Anthony Jacquin, of course. Big influence and friend of mine, so I'm going to definitely talk about that. But I actually haven't read this book. So a lot of you hypnotists are going to just right now. I haven't actually read Orman McGill's encyclopedia of hypnosis. It's basically, if you look up Orman McGill, you're going to find out very quickly he's basically like the Di Vernon of hypnosis, but if that's accurate. But great book, Orman McGill, that's McGill, I believe. And then You know what? To be honest with you, it's like a lot of the books that I feel have helped me with hypnosis is like Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. The name escapes me of the author. Stephen Covey, is it? Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And I'll be honest with you, the difference between someone that's reading those books and someone that has no clue about what those books are, it's a significant difference. So as a hypnotist, if you really want to get into hypnosis and this kind of stuff, look into some of those books. But if you really want a concise book right now, get Reality is Plastic by Anthony Jacquin. That's a great start. Very, very practical. When I read that book, it was like, this is basically all you really need if you want to go for it. So, yeah.
I just want to articulate. I want to try and articulate the
It's a different
feeling.
lecture, right? Because you're not looking at hands and cards. You got to look at my face the whole time.
It's great.
Oh no, we get to see you. Cool.
Yeah. So I want to try and articulate the feeling that I got when at the end of this 5-second countdown, or this 5-point countdown, and it just to compare with sort of like what you understand this. It feels like after you go through the segments and my sort of muscle groups sort of power down and I kind of lose a lot of stress. I feel like the hypnosis part, and I'm really just trying to like articulate and appreciate like what happened, is how at the end of that I kind of feel like I'm floating at the bottom of a body of water or something like that. And then it's like in that relaxed state, like my muscles or whatever have kind of solidified. Okay, and then I feel like, man, I'm so relaxed. I feel like my body's off, like in the off position.
Yeah.
Like there's somebody just flips, and like I'm kind of like disembodied at
Did
that
any
point.
of you else? Does this describe what you were feeling too? Raise your
I
hand.
might have the
It might be-
advantage here because
I mean, no,
I've been thinking about
No,
this
honestly,
for like 6 years.
Like the majority of people, I
Yeah.
know they felt that because that's just natural. That's what's
Yeah,
supposed
and this is a revelation for me, just because I have the contrasting experiences. So I think that's why I want to try and get this out of my head as fast as possible before I forget, like a dream or something. So great, and I'm definitely gonna be listening to that part of the lecture again and doing it again because I thought that was great. Okay, so will these trances still work if your audience has had a few drinks?
like a few drinks, like drunk, or a few drinks, like tipsy, because.
I guess tipsy. I think drunk is
like,
unreasonable.
I'm assuming that if you're going out to a nightclub and have fun,
Yeah.
just don't do it. Don't worry
But
about
say like 2 drink, 3. Say in the 2 to 3 drink range.
it. They're already hypnotized. They're good to go. Most people are actually really good to go. If you're creative, if you're imaginative, if you have an open mind, which hopefully is the majority of people I come across every day, they're good to go. If you've had 1 drink or 2, and if you're over 21, you at home, if you're over 21, then you know that brings you to a certain state of mind. I personally, it was a question. Is it harder? Is that what the question was? Is it?
Does it still work? I mean, can you still do it?
Definitely still works. In fact, it's probably a lot easier. It's just like magic tricks. You get a great reaction when someone's just a little bit drunk.
Yeah.
So they start questioning, how many drinks did I have, you know? Because now we're playing with people's emotions, with their mind. If they've had something to drink, they're obviously altered. So they may not get it, but if they do get it, it's going to be an amplified reaction. And yeah.
There was an interesting study, actually. This is funny that we hold this lecture today. There was an interesting study published just literally like 2 or 3 days ago, where a group of volunteers actually performed better at some puzzle solving after a couple of drinks than a group.
Were they
that
working as a
hadn't had.
team? Were they working as a
No,
team?
no,
or
no,
individually?
individual. But what the conclusion, or at least the theory after the experiment was that like they kind of, with the alcohol, they were able to relax and just be a little bit more imaginative and creative. And so it's interesting. I wonder if there was any sort of implication for hypnosis in that, any conclusions that can be drawn from that.
Without knowing the
hypnosis.
complete tests, whatever was going on in that room, I don't know.
I think brain teasers is kind of.
But you know
the
what it might have
thing.
done is it might have lowered their stress a little bit, so they were able to just do things, like take action and try things, and maybe they weren't thinking as critically. So, it is critical thinking at that point. But maybe their own mind didn't get in their way when they had a few drinks and they were just able to see things differently. And I'm not condoning drinking to problem solve, but...
Do you feel like music has an effect?
Absolutely.
Good or bad?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, think about hypnosis, guys. What magnetizes you to something? What really fascinates you with anyone's subject? Like, what is it about an exotic car, like to me, that when I look at it, it's like, that's cool. Like, I just want to look at it. I want to know what kind it is. Or for some of you, it's magic. Like, what is it about playing cards that make us just want to, do this all day long? Because it just attracts us. There's something about it. And it's the same thing with anything. If you're going to ask about music, about all of this stuff, it really does. Music will add to the hypnosis, but at the same time, start thinking about what attracts you, what's very magnetic to you. So think about, for card magicians, I know there's a lot of card magicians here. Think about what it is about card magic that you like. Not just it's cool, not just because you like it. There's something about it, right? There's either nostalgia there, there's comfort there. It's something you're really good at, so you're drawn to just doing that. A lot of, we tend to do things that we're really good at, that we're comfortable doing. So I know this is kind of off topic from if music helps or if music is hypnotic or anything, but that's what I wanted to get at, is that music is very hypnotic and it will work. In a street session, you're not going to put your earbuds on someone and have them listen to music, and although I have worked on a routine like that, but if you go to any stage hypnosis show, there's going to be music playing right when you walk in. Something that has to do with hypnosis, or it just might be some kind of trance beat or something in there to set the tone. It's just like if you're planning a special event or if you're having a birthday party, you got to have music going on when your friends show up. You can't just have them show up and you're cooking. You got to have a DJ, or you got to have that Pandora playing. Create the environment. It does work.
You already explained how magic has been good for your hypnosis, in that you learned showmanship and performance and that kind of thing. But are there ways that your hypnosis experience has helped your magic?
Oh, is this the other way around? Oh, no, that magic's helped my hypnosis, but the other way around.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let me show you. Let me show you something. I'm going to show you guys a trick that I learned. This is one of the first tricks I ever learned in my entire life. And a lot of you magicians that have been doing this for a long time are probably going to recognize it. And it just uses 4 aces. Okay? So you newcomers in magic, or non-magicians, or just hypnotists, I just want you to watch this. And if you can see it on the screen, you might be able to get a little closer. So, come close. Don't be shy. Okay, and I'll try not to move. Okay. Think about the 4 aces, okay? If I had you focus on the propeller on the back of those cards, you don't need to zoom in, but just use your natural focus of your eyes to kind of think about that propeller in the center. And I had you just remember what that looks like, right? And then I had you look at the face of this card, right? You could see the spade. You didn't forget the propeller, but you're definitely looking at that spade. Now you can retain this image in your mind, okay? And the reason I wanted to do that is because I want to kind of show you the difference between the fronts and the backs of the cards. So in a moment, you're going to see cards start to turn around in between the other cards. But what I want you to do is focus right there on the propeller. Take a deep breath with me. Watch the screen, because I'm just going to twist those. And you can clearly see the face of one of those cards. That's the Ace of Hearts. Continue to focus on that. We'll do it again. and that heart will turn face down, and now you've got the club. So now that you know what to look for, I'll do it again. Remember, there's the face of the cards, there's also the back. So don't get focused on the propeller. It's kind of like a hypnotic spiral, but just try to watch and see if you can see anything happening in between the cards. There's the diamond. Right? This is just a classic display of what can happen with cards if you just focus. I'll do it one more time. Actually, just one more to go, okay? Do you guys know which one's left? We did the clubs, hearts, the diamonds. Which one's left? Okay. No fancy sleight of hand here. I just want you to focus on the center. One last time. Wait, hold on. Focus right there in the center. Wait, hold on, that's 4. Hold on, this is what I need to do. Yeah, just like that. One card turns face up. The ace of spades. Good to go? Good. Thank you. Awesome.
It's kind of crazy how you read my mind there. The next question I was about to ask is comes from Chris. Should you keep the magic and hypnosis separate so as not to dilute the power of the hypnotism act? Is that, I know this is a great example that you just did, but
yes.
Do you feel
I'm not going to talk, well, this is the thing. I think hypnosis can really help your magic. Not so much the other way around. If you guys are proud of being a magician, you got to realize that it is a secret art. So if you're going to use your magic in your hypnosis, don't say you're a magician. Say you're a hypnotist and do some of your prestidigitation inside of that, and you'll get some really interesting reactions because they don't see you as a magician. I'm not saying that you can't mix. I know there's a lot of my colleagues that do mix and match. But if I'm doing strictly a hypnosis show, I don't want to worry about any props. I'm just a hypnotist. That's going to be more effective for me personally. If you've seen Darren Brown's Enigma, he's definitely doing both, and it's very entertaining. Watch that on YouTube if you haven't seen it, but he's doing both, and it's a great show. So he never mentions hypnosis, actually, though, in the whole show, which is cool. So you kind of have to pick your poison on how you want to entertain your audience, but I don't think any one will hurt the other. If you're an amazing magician and an amazing hypnotist, there's no reason why you can't do both in one show. You just got to make sure you're marketed well and people realize that you are both. Not that you're mediocre at both and you're trying to put them together to make something. Don't do that. As far as the study of hypnosis goes and learning it, separate it. Just go, I'm going to study hypnosis, boom, and just learn it. And then you still have your magic, still study magic, but now you've got 2 skills. Don't water either one down by trying to mix it right away. Yeah?
I have a question. You already talked about how important confidence is. Obviously, if you walk in and you're like, I don't think this will work because your hand feels like no. Obviously, you need to be confident. How important would you say it is to also focus on just being a likable person in general? In other words, do you think it's important to avoid coming across as too confident so that people might resist you?
Yeah, there's a difference between confident and cocky, right? You can be soft-spoken and confident. You don't have to be loud and obnoxious. But I think when someone has a skill or a talent or something that they know that they're really good at, if they know it, they don't have to show it off or tell everyone about what they do. So, yeah, I think overconfidence and almost like egotistical presentation, I think that can totally turn people off with this, especially with hypnosis. But I didn't want to, in earlier question you were talking about what if it doesn't work and if you meet people. I kind of will separate people into 2 groups, okay? Nice or jerk-offs, okay? Simple, right? Okay, so someone's either not really nice and they're someone I want to hang out with, or they're just not getting it. Not that they're jerk-off, but maybe I'm going to put them in the other category, okay? So I'm going to choose to have my social experience in my life revolve around these people that get me, that understand what I'm talking about, that are susceptible, that are receptive to what I'm saying. The rest of the people that it's not working on, no, it's not working, nope, don't feel it. I don't want to hang out with those people anyway, right? So if you're doing walk-around gigs, this is where you get to see the different reactions, right? You'll know when someone vibes with you right away. You'll know it. And this just has to do with getting out there and meeting people, but like, you'll meet someone that's just like vibing with you right away. And when you start the hypnosis, they're closing their eyes before you've even said to, their fingers already going together. They're tripping out, oh man, this is cool. Just like magic, right? Like when you see those people that react really well, you're like, okay, I'm gonna just perform for this guy all night. Get the camera right here, right? Because it works. So if your aim is to hypnotize everyone and have it work 100% of the time, good luck. And let me know how that works out. Because it's much more fun knowing that there's key people that I'm going to connect with. And I just have to meet as many people as I can, have as much fun as I can. And I'm going to meet. It doesn't have to be like everyone in the party. It just has to be one person, 2 or 3 people that are like just really fun to hang out with. And maybe one of those people is like an event planner, or they, you know, and if you're career driven, then give them your card, and that's the connection. They're probably going to call you back for hypnosis or for magic if you're a cool person, not because, you know, you're a better magician than the other guy. They're going to remember the connection that they had with you. So I hope that makes sense. And yeah.
Can you talk briefly about the handshake induction you were talking about earlier?
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of give some advice
Yeah.
on that for like people who want to do a quicker induction.
A quicker induction? Yeah. Yeah. Come on up. Okay. So you're pretty much in rapport with me. So this is to be really fast. Okay.
Okay.
Take a deep breath with me. I want you to focus, okay? In a moment, I'm going to shake your hand. I'm going to say the word sleep. When I say the word sleep, you're going to close your eyes. You're going to go in a deep state of hypnosis. You're going to fall. I'm going to catch you, place you safely on the floor. It's not going to be dangerous at all. You're actually going to feel really relaxed, and you're just going to let yourself go like a sack of potatoes. Okay? Take a deep breath. You ready? Yeah. Take a deep breath. And sleep. Eyes closed all the way down, all the way down. Nice and soft, like a rag doll. All the way down. That's good. From your head to your toe, every single muscle in your body, every fiber, simply going deeper and deeper. When I tap you on the shoulder, simply straighten out your body like you're just getting a nice suntan on the beach. Yeah. Nice and relaxed. Every cell, every muscle, completely relaxed. Each time I touch you, simply saying it 10 times deeper, more relaxed. It's almost as if you're 250 pounds sinking into that carpet. Now you're 400 pounds, deeper and deeper, more relaxed, sinking all the way down, 10 times more relaxed than you are now. It feels good to just be in a complete state of relaxation, letting everything go, understanding that your mind is very powerful. You have the ability to hypnotize someone as fast or as slow as you want. And it doesn't have to be a zap. It doesn't have to be a 10 count. It starts with your interaction, communicating with people, and sharing who you are with them. Nod your head if you understand. When I count from 1 to 3, you're going to come out of this relaxed state. But every time I say the word sleep, and I snap my fingers, you're going to fall right back down into this relaxed state, 10 times deeper and more relaxed than you are now. Nod your head if you understand. Amazing. Take a nice deep breath. And eyes open wide. You can get up for me. Awesome, man. How are you feeling, man? Sleep all the way down. Eyes closed. Simply relax from your head to your toe. Now in a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 3. I will not send you right back down to the floor like I just did, but the number 3 will be completely gone from your mind. All mathematical calculations are completely out the window because the 3 no longer exists. When I ask you to recall numbers, it'll be like 1, 2, 4. It'll just go on from there because the 3 does not exist. It's completely gone from your mind. It's on the tip of your tongue. You can't say it. It's just gone. Nod your head if you understand. 1, 2, 3. Eyes open wide. Take a nice deep breath, man. How you doing? Excellent. Now let's test the hypnotic phenomena, see how creative your mind is, see if we can do this here. Hold out your hands for me. I'm going to count out loud, or you're going to count out loud. I'm going to tap a finger, and every time I tap your finger, simply just out loud count so we can all hear. I'm going to go around here so my mic can hear you. So just count with me, okay?
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, you got it.
I got it.
Good, good. Take a nice deep breath. Eyes closed. And sleep. Eyes closed all the way down. In a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 3. The number 3 is completely gone from your mind. When you count, it's going to be 1, 2, 4, 5. Go all the way up. It's just going to be completely gone. It's nice and easy to just forget something. You don't have to worry about it at all. Nod your head if you understand. 1, 2, 3. Eyes open wide. One more time for me. Let's try this here. Just let your mind go, yo.
1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, a little bit.
Let's try it again. Let's try it again.
1, 2, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, let's start from 1 here.
1, 2, 4, 5, 6.
So 6 here, 6 here. How many fingers you got?
I don't know.
What's 4 plus 9?
I don't know.
What's 2 times 3? Just completely. Look, see the number 3 right here in the distance? It's not in your mind. It's actually right here. Can you see that? If I just take it and I go, it's back in your mind now. So go ahead and count with me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Nice. High five, right? Have a seat. Thank you. Awesome, man. Thank you. All right. So I know I said I was going to explain to you the handshake, but I had to just take the liberty of just going for the whole thing. Fun stuff. Now, here's the thing I just want to say. With the handshake induction, there's different handshake inductions. There's an Ericksonian handshake induction. Like with the head hacking, we learned this. It's not, no one's falling down. It's very classical. This zap type induction, this quick induction, this is a much, it's a much braver approach, I think. You got to be ready to catch someone, and you have to put safety first and foremost. If someone believes you're a hypnotist and they're going to do what you say and they're going to trust you, you have to be there to catch them. What I'm going to do is shake your hand here. Let's have you come up here. Colin? Yeah. You feel really relaxed, don't you? I do. Because this is what I'm going to do. The technical aspects of the handshake is just this. Okay? I'm not doing that. You could do that. It really helps. Yeah, I've done it before. If you watch my demo on Zap online on YouTube, it's like, don't fall down, but I'm going to do this. I do this, okay? And it shows. It looks very violent, and I'm sorry for doing this here. Patronize you with it. But it's not. It doesn't hurt, right? I'm not like yanking your shoulder to socket. And the reason why people think it's heavy, it's because they see the whole body go, right? Because if I just had you relax, simply relax, and I do that, right? Of course, your body's going to react. So this is all I'm doing in the handshake induction. Watch very carefully, okay? Shaking like normal, my hand's here, and I just do this. Okay? I just want enough of to get your momentum going. Thank you. Now, the reason why I like this induction, not because it's crazy or it's dangerous. That's not why I like it. The reason why I like it is because I know I'm going to get a good hypnotic subject if they go down, exactly like I described. I already know that they're with me, that they get it, right? So when I give someone a hypnotic induction, I basically, in this handshake, I'm saying, in a moment, I'm going to shake your hand. I'm going to say the word sleep, okay? When I do, your eyes are going to close. You're going to go into hypnotic state. You're going to simply relax, fall over here. I'm going to catch you safely, put you right on the floor like a sack of potatoes. Okay? So my original approach was, in a moment, I'm going to shake your hand and say the word sleep, right? And when I do, you're going to fall like a sack of potatoes, completely hypnotized on the floor. Nod your head if you understand. Good. And then I go for it. Whew. I've had some interesting experiences with that. Interesting. Some success, a lot of success, actually, but a lot of non-success, too. So I had to change the frame for that handshake. Okay, I had to change the frame to, all I'm going to do is this. I'm going to shake your hand. When I do, you're simply going to close your eyes. You're going to fall to the floor nice and safely. I'm going to catch you. And it's not direct. It's not direct commands. I'm just telling them what's supposed to happen. So the reason I like this is because when someone has to commit to that physical fall and allow me to catch them, it's kind of like that trust exercise that you see that they do at like confidence building workshops or relationship building and team training, where you have your partner standing back and you have to completely trust them as you get on your heels and fall. And you have to put complete trust in this person that they're going to catch you. If they do that, if they allow me that honor, then I know I'm dealing with someone that wants this bad. They want hypnosis. They're going to go for it. So that's why I took the liberty of doing the routines, because I just wanted to show you guys how simple it is that once you get someone to a hypnotic state, right, you see their arms flapping, they're really relaxed, lay on the suggestions and go for it. Go for something crazy like the number 3 gone, or go for their name gone. You can really have a lot of fun with stuff like this. As much fun as much of a party stunt like it looks like, it's fun at parties and stuff. Just make sure there's no furniture around where they can hit their head and stuff, and just be safe. And that was, basically like a crash course in Zap, so wasn't expecting to do that. But you guys can see, if you guys had questions about it, whether it was good or not, that's it. That's what it is. A lot more covered in the book, of course, and the DVD. But does that explain it for you? It's not a, and that's just one handshake. There's tons of handshakes. There's handshakes that are, like you see the head hackers do, much different. This is just a fast one.
That was amazing. That was amazing. What do you do if someone is afraid of hypnosis? Like, not for Zap, but just in general. You say,
Yeah.
I'm a hypnotist. They go, oh, I'm afraid of hypnosis.
And then you go, good. Don't fuck with me. No, you'll get some experiencing reactions as a hypnotist. You'll get people saying, oh, don't hypnotize me. Or you get this one, no, don't look at me, right? Because they think they have this frame in their mind like hypnosis is some kind of thing. And it is. It really, really is. It could be. It is. Right? So if they're scared of it, good. You don't have to hypnotize this person. No one says you have to. If they're afraid, that's kind of cool. It's like, well, you can easily dispel the myths about hypnosis, start educating them, right? If they're paying you to help them quit smoking, but they go, you know what, I'm just afraid of it, then you have to dispel the fears. You have to say, you know what, hypnosis is not something dangerous. It's actually used in medical professions all over the world. It's used in third world countries where they can't afford medicine, so they use hypnotherapy to release pain and relieve pain. So it's absolutely natural state of mind. Have you heard of hypnobirthing? Right? Females that don't want to use they don't want to use medicine or anesthesia for the health of the baby, so they use hypnosis instead. It's a much more natural, safe way to have babies. So there's all of these facts and things in the world that you can share with someone so that they won't be scared. Or in a performance situation, if you're going out and having fun, you can simply just go, yeah, you should be scared. It's pretty heavy. I don't know.
You can't practice hypnotizing someone alone, but getting ready for that, do you spend, or did you when you were beginning, did you spend hours just rehearsing the things you will say? Your patter, if you will?
Oh, of course. You have to. You can practice up to a certain point. Okay, hypnosis is definitely a two-man sport, or man and woman sport, or a woman and woman sport, whatever. There's definitely more than you. There's self-hypnosis, right? I know a lot of hypnotists that don't believe in self-hypnosis. I believe in it. But you got to understand that there's only so much you can learn at home. It's just like magic. If I practice my Zero Shuffle over and over and over, and then I go to the restaurant or I go do a close-up show and I'm doing it, it's a much different experience. When you got someone doing that, right? Or if you have someone drunk in the front going, I'm going to catch you, look, you did it. How do you react to that? How do you keep your composure and do all the moves right? It happens over time and over experience. But when it comes to hypnosis, the best thing to do is start out with some of these simple routines because they're easy, they don't take much work, and it'll help build your confidence. And then from there, you can start expanding on that and learning more and trying more. But yeah, you can't do it alone. You definitely need to practice and go out and do it.
So I think that as kind of to leave us with a thought, can you talk a little bit about when you learned hypnosis and about that journey at the beginning of you learning hypnosis?
Yeah.
Because I know you kind of did almost like an apprenticeship.
Yeah. I'll tell you my first hypnotic experience, well, the one that I can mark and the one that I can say was the first time I was hypnotized. It was at a show in San Diego, and if the name of the magician escapes me, I say magician because he was a magician, but he performed a hypnosis show. And I was there with my friends. I was probably about 20 years old, 21, and the hypnotist said, come up on stage if you want to be hypnotized. So, of course, I got up there, got hypnotized, and it was one of the coolest experiences I'd ever had. I didn't have anything to drink, yet I felt a buzz, right? Just like you described, out-of-body experience. Felt like I was weightless at one point. All the hypnotic phenomena worked, right? When he made my hand rigid and solid, I couldn't move it. Everything, just like you felt with being a statue, I just couldn't move, and it was mind-blowing to me. Of course, I had a cough at the time. I had like a throat infection from a week ago, so I still had this cough, and I kept coughing throughout the show. So halfway through the show, I came out of trance, and I was like, I'm not hypnotized, and he sat me down. And he had other people to work with. But my first experience was at a show. My training, originally when I took the leap to learn it, was when I moved to Vegas. I met, actually in San Diego, I met someone named Brian Campbell, who was my agent. He got me all my professional gigs, all my corporate trade show work, and my original restaurant gig in San Diego. So he was basically like sort of my mentor in magic and show business. He was also a hypnotist and trained people hypnosis. So when I moved out to Vegas and he moved out, he was there as well. He was training someone named Noran, the world's fastest female hypnotist. And in exchange for me being their assistant on stage to move chairs around, he said, I'll teach you hypnosis. I'll teach you how do we do this, as long as you help us on stage every night and you shine my bike. He had a Harley, right? So I was like, all right, I'll do that. I never cleaned his bike, but I did help with the show every night in Las Vegas at the Riviera, probably for a good 4 months straight. And I got a lot of real-world experience. I'd never read a book at that point, but I was just exposed to it, just like you guys are being exposed to it now. Seeing it with my own 2 eyes, being on stage, watching people, and Brian had to constantly tell me that you can't watch them like you're amazed. You have to be ready and stand there professionally, and whenever Noran needs something, you need to go move the chair. If someone moves, or you just be there, be as an assistant. But I'd be there on stage, I'd start watching the show, like, I'd be laughing, and then I'm like, okay, I gotta be professional. So that's how I got my training, and one thing that happened was, after they'd been training me for probably a good month or two, Noran had the microphone, and she said, you know, everyone on stage was in a trance doing these routines, and then she said, ladies and gentlemen on stage, the voice you're about to hear is world-famous hypnotist Jay Noblezada. You will do everything he says, and he is now the hypnotist. She gave me the mic, and she left the stage. So I had like 150 people watching me, never done a hypnosis show in my life. But what happened was she threw me in the fire, basically. I had seen the show night after night after night, so I just copied what she had done. I did a few hypnosis routines, seeing people do amazing things, like some of the stuff you've seen tonight, but classic hypnosis routines like the Martian routine and the sleep gun with the stuff that you'll see any hypnotist do on stage. But that's when it hit me. It hit me that anyone can do this. And all it takes is for you to see someone do it, listen to them, copy them, and you learn through experience how this stuff works. Now, I do want to say this. Next to seeing a lecture like this, I want to encourage you, if you dabble in hypnosis at all, stick with these basics, but if you really want to venture out and do this, get some required readings like Reality is Plastic, Orman McGill's Encyclopedia of Stage Hypnosis. Do your research. A really good book, and I don't want to put anyone down on this. Get Hypnosis, Idiot's Guide to Hypnosis. It's not that you're an idiot, but those books are very, very well written, and they're organized. Unlike a lot of hypnotist books that I've read that are just crazy. There's so much information flying at you. I'd rather take a dummy's approach to it or an idiot's approach to it as a brand new student. So I want to encourage you to check that book out. But you're going to learn more through experience, which I did. And like earlier, you know, Jar asked me to name off some of my favorite books. I have a lot of books, but as far as favorites go, I can only think of Reality and the Encyclopedia, even though I haven't read that. Jeffrey Roning's Modern Guide to Stage Hypnosis. But everything else I've learned is through experience. So I apologize for some of you historians out there that are, you know, maybe I'm not giving credit to everyone that I should, but I can basically, and I know this is no justification for not knowing who's who, but I do credit a lot of my education to Brian and the head hackers, Anthony Jacquin, and training with some of the best in the world. So that's how I see it. Now, are we done? Because I do want to say a story before we end. Did you have a question?
No.
One more? Okay.
I wanted to ask you about something, but I want it to be the last thing.
Okay, because I want to tell you guys this story. It's about a guy that I met years ago, a magician, famous magician. His name's Oz Perlman. And this is a story that I only tell people that if we're close enough when we get in a conversation. I feel like through this few hours, I feel like I've connected with a lot of you out there. If you're watching at home and you get me and you understand how important this hypnosis stuff is or how it can work for you, then you're with me. And I know a lot of you here, I can see it in your eyes, this stuff is gold to you. I want to tell you about the story about Oz Proman. And a lot of you know him as a magician. A lot of you may not know him as this just crazy successful marathon runner and super athlete. About 3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago, I decided to quit smoking. And I decided I'm going to use self-hypnosis to quit smoking. And what I learned is that when you quit something, like a bad habit, you need to replace it with something that's a great habit, something that totally replaces the bad one, and it deters you from ever going back. So I decided I'm going to run a marathon. I'm going to run the Las Vegas Marathon, and I'm just going to go for it, because I have to train and run. I can't be hanging out smoking anymore. I have to run. So my reality started to change for what hypnosis was. It wasn't this deep thought process. It was something clicking in my mind and going, I need to make the change. Okay? And what does this have to do with Oz? Well, Oz is an amazing runner. So, of course, if you want great advice, go to the people that are amazing at it. Okay? If you want to learn magic, learn from the best. That's the great thing about these lectures, is you guys have some really great magicians coming in. And, you know, I didn't have this when I was starting out. You know, I had a few books, VHS tapes, maybe a good lecture came to town. But, man, you guys are so spoiled. I know I don't look very old, but I'm 33, right? I'm much older than a lot of you, but it's like, man, you're so lucky. At a click of a button, you can learn this stuff. You know, it's amazing. So what did Oz have to do with my marathon running? Well, of course, I went to the expert. I said, Oz, you run these 50-mile races. I think he just ran a 100-mile race and got like first place in his age or something. Ridiculous. This guy's a machine. So teach me how to run a marathon. What do I need to learn? And me being the procrastinator that I am, it was about 3-4 weeks before the marathon. Should have been about 4 months, about 5 months. Well, he said, well, how much have you ran so far in your training? And I said, about 19 miles, like on one day, you know, one day would be 19. That's the longest I've run. And a marathon's 26.2. So this is where the hypnosis comes into play. Because he gave me a lot of tips about shoes and how to approach the training. But he says, mile 20, you're going to freak out because you've never been there before. Your mind's never been there. Your body's never been there. So it's going to feel really weird. So just get ready for mile 20. And I was like, okay, I'll be ready for it. That's all he said. He said, you'll do fine. If you ran 19 miles or 26.2, you got it. You're done. You'll be fine. Well, marathon starts 6:30 in the morning, freezing cold in Las Vegas, right? It's December 6th, right? And I'm ready to go for this. I'm feeling really good about it. Start the marathon. Everything's great. Each mile, I'm feeling great. No fatigue setting in where I feel like I'm not going to be able to do this. I feel really, really good about this marathon. Of course, it's the rock and roll marathon, so you've got bands playing at every other mile, and there's a lot of Gatorade and the gel stuff, so, you know, you're taken care of, and it's fun. There's so many people running, and when so many people are doing something, it really helps you do it, so you get a lot of help in that sense. But check this out. I was doing so good. At mile 20, they have this big sort of archway, kind of like this, and they have these news cameras and this kind of checkered line. It's not the finish line, but it says, mile 20, you're almost there. They've got cameras, they've got a band, they've got the cheerleaders from the high schools, like just rooting everyone on. So I'm running, I'm feeling great, like I got this, right? And I didn't think about what Oz told me. But as soon as mile 20 hit, as soon as I crossed that checkered line, from my butt all the way down to my ankles, cramped up. I had 2 solid rods, so I'm running, and it's like, oh, right when I hit mile 20. Right? And I thought about that. If Oz never planted that thought in my mind, would it have happened? Would my body physically, like, just freak out if he didn't say I was going to freak out? And I bring the story up with close hypnotists to me, and my friend Tim says, you know what, Jay? He did exactly what a hypnotist does. It was exactly hypnosis, no doubt, because that seed was planted in my mind that at mile 20, I would freak out, and it's something I've never felt before. So I lock up, I go over to the side, I stretch for a good 30 seconds, and I'm off fine. Finish the marathon, one of the best days of my life. The next day, not so amazing. But I did get the medal, and it was really, really fun. Never ran a marathon again. It's been a few years. But I'll never forget that moment where a simple suggestion, a seed that was planted in my mind, physically changed my body. Physically. And Oz, if you're listening to this, I never told you this, and I might have told you so over the phone, but just the impact that it had on me, and then making the connection with hypnosis, completely great experience, man. So thank you for hypnotizing me. Thanks a lot, buddy. But also for encouraging me to run and just setting an example there with what you do. So I just want to leave you with that, like, what suggestions are you planning in your mind on a daily basis? Are you telling yourself you can do something? Are you telling yourself you can't? Are you telling yourself, I'm going to freak out if this magic trick doesn't work, or if this hypnosis doesn't work? Or are you telling yourself, it doesn't matter because I'm learning and I'm having fun doing what I love? That's what I want to leave you guys with is, plant good suggestions in yourself and to everyone you come into contact with. Be a positive person, live life to the fullest, and just love with all your heart. Mwah! I love you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you! Thanks, buddy.
Yo, hold on. I gotta say a couple of things. One, I had no idea that Oz was such a dick. Oh my God.
Mind tricks.
Number two, thank you. That was amazing. I've known you for like 10 years, and I was still blown away. I did not know, because you have been doing hypnosis for a while now, and I've been like kind of watching you, kind of more from a distance than when you were doing close up so heavily and stuff like that. So this was really amazing, man. I was really blown away. The final thing I just want to say is because I know that some people have never done hypnosis, but some people watching are either part-time or even professional hypnotists. So for the people who want to take it more seriously, I know that this is amazing, of course, but not as far as you can go. If you want hands-on, one-on-one, kind of like you want to feel the everything, I just want to bring some attention to the seminars that you do, because they, just from all the reviews and everything I've ever heard of anybody that's been there, they've just been unforgettable. So can you just mention the next one? And is it in July? June?
It's in June.
June.
The one coming up in June is a complete stage hypnosis training. Basically, what we're doing is we're going to have 10 students. We're limiting it to 10. Come in. We have a theater that we're renting out in Vegas, and we're going to train you stage hypnosis from beginning to end. I'm talking about the beginning of the show all the way to the end, and I'm not going to leave anything unturned, anything uncovered. I've got world-famous hypnotist Matthew Hale from Australia. He's going to be teaching you guys. Working Pro is one of the best that I know of. Joe Brogy from Omaha, who's the Mind Eraser. You guys have seen him. Amazing. One of the most amazing. This guy's a full-time, he's 24 years old. He performs full-time stage hypnosis, and that's what he does for a living, and it's amazing. The guy makes so much money. I don't want to say the figures, but no, seriously, like for one show, for an hour, like on stage having fun, it's like, anywhere from $1,400 to $2,400 for an hour. And you can imagine what that extra money, just one show a month would be great for most people, But these guys know the business inside and out. I also have an expert marketer, Amir Karkudi, coming out to teach you guys about hypnotic marketing, how to create your website, and really gear your business toward landing gigs. So we teach you the whole show, and then we spend a day and a half on business and marketing, how to book the show, who to sell it to. So in a nutshell, it's a whole business in a box for those of you that want to start your careers as a hypnotist. If you're brand new, it's perfect. And if you're experienced, you have a big advantage because you get all of the questions answered. And it's in Vegas. It's going to be fun.
That sounds awesome. All right, sweet. So that's June. You'll probably hear about it more on penguinmagic.com. Sure. And man, thank you so much for doing this.
Hey.
This was fun.
Awesome, man. Thanks, guys. See you soon.